David Tower. I own 92 Proof Tattoo. Mostly a black and gray artist, but I do color, pretty much anything that tattoo anything, you know?
I first seen your work from my own visual. I saw you transition.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw you do a lot of color.
Yeah.
I would see you do black and gray, but your black and gray started like...
Well, I started out with black and gray.
Okay.
And then when I got out of prison, all I wanted to do was color. I was looking at tattoo magazines and I'm like, this is where the money's at, you know? One day I got forced to do black and gray again. I was tattooing in LA in Whittier. It was a self-made tattoo.
Okay.
It was Mikey Hernandez, probably Catfish. Mikey's like, no, you're going to do it, man. You're going to do this back piece. And, and I'm all,
put you through the floors. Right. This wasn't planned out. I didn't plan to do this. Everybody had an original direction.
Yeah, I didn't plan on it either.
There's a shift of life, and then
man, that's all.
You're just
and then tattooing, and then just started making a little bit of money tattooing, and knew I wasn't going to sell drugs forever. You know,
right.
Started losing interest in prison and all that. Back then, man, tattooing was different than now. You know, people didn't know what a good tattoo looked like.
Yeah,
they didn't have Facebook, Instagram, they didn't have Google, you know, any of that. Yeah. Nobody knew what a good tattoo looked like, so we were just doing whatever on people.
The time when you started, you were in the Wild West times of tattooing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that was like the outlaw.
Right. Flames. Everybody's getting flames on their arms, and we were doing anything we wanted back then. I'm not that far back, but man, I saw a good time in tattooing. I still hold on to that shit. That's like in my head, that's where I'm still at right now, you know?
Well, I feel like it structured your system of how you hustle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so a lot of that has with your background, obviously like different, like exposure to the industry.
That's what we always did. I didn't apprentice, so I never did the like full on apprenticeship with anybody, you know? I think you guys talked about scrubbing tubes. I think he had to scrub tubes like one day, and then the disposable ones came around.
Right. When shops become hostile, you've seen that.
Oh, all the time.
You've seen that. Yeah, you've seen it where you're like, there's a hostile environment when there's a war zone in the shop. Go outside, figure it out. Come back in.
Bobby's had to pull me and a couple guys apart from each other.
Sure.
I went from tattooing skulls and games.
That's like street shop mentality.
Yeah, anything
like walk-ins.
I'm still that way. We're 1-to-1, so we make money by working.
Exactly. I'm curious, who taught you the business? Is that something also?
The business end of it?
Yeah.
I still don't got that down.
Right. No, it's hard to.
I got my bills on auto pay, and I just make sure there's enough money to keep the lights on.
Just keep money above it.
Yeah, I'm not good at the business side of it. Yeah, I'm not. It's not my best thing.
It's a hard thing. Yeah.
I pay the bills, and that's where it's at. But mostly I'm just there, you know. When I started opening, there was no health department, nothing. All you had to do is go down and get a fictitious business name for $20 and find a place that'll let you tattoo out of it. But my first tattoo shop, the bathroom was also where we scrubbed tubes. You know, like
in the sink or
the same sink. Everybody's washing their hands. You know, like the autoclave would be in the bathroom. Right. You know, it's just how it was. How I knew how to use an autoclave. Somebody must have taught me. You know, I knew how to sterilize tubes properly. I knew how to do all that, but I don't know. I don't remember who taught me.
It's really important to know.
Yeah, it is.
You're spreading the love. You know what I mean?
We used to go to Harbor Freight and get the ultrasonic cleaners.
Yeah, the ultrasonic cleaners. I had a homie that was tattooing out of the house and was doing that. He just had he had a crock pot, a crack pot, and a crack pot.
All it takes is heat and pressure, man.
Yeah. He had a crock pot. What are you throwing in there? Is my tubes?
Shit, I didn't know any better. When we were in the joint, we were just putting our needles in barbicide.
Right, barbicide.
And we were all using the same needles. I remember later when I started learning what Hep A and Hep B and Hep C was. I'm like, oh, I for sure got that. Shocked when I didn't have it. I just always tried to be the first one to be doing. You know, like back when tattooing in the Valley first came out, nobody was outspoken tattoo artists, bringing huge people to guest spot at my shop, doing huge conventions. And I don't remember anybody else doing that. I just always tried to kind of keep shit going, you know, hours on hours, dude, to where we are now to see how far we could ride this train. It's all about putting in hours. That's fucking it, man.
Because it was kind of just like a class, and then it seemed like they were going to try to go through that legit route, if that makes sense.
They never made it on.
No, they never did.
Glad they did.
But that's the first time I met you and Lurk, and was Bobby with you? Who was all with you at that?
No, Bobby wasn't with me. Dan Bumpus, he tattooed down the street from me. He passed away. Man, that's all I remember. I can't remember. Freddie Torres.
Okay, yeah. We all got this notice, and it was supposed to be like Fresno was going to, they were gonna like, this qualifies for what our standard is or whatever, right? For the, I guess, like the whole Tulare County. Cool to see everybody together. And then you see everybody kind of branch off to their own shop. Remember that?
Yeah.
We took a break and everybody went to like.
Yeah, no, it was, and then Troy, who became the health department inspector in Kings County, he went. That's where he developed his standards for Kings County.
Okay.
Was there. He was with us.
The next time was at Lurks' opening.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
It was.
I saw he was on here.
That was like one of the first when I first started to get this rolling.
He had me dying when I was watching this podcast.
Oh man, he's funny, dude.
He's a funny guy, man.
He has stories, bro,
all day.
And he was telling me, he was like, "Oh, I was on a good one," and I'm like, "You didn't even show it though." He's like, "He's on."
Oh, he was.
Yeah. He said most of the time he's like, "I was on,
we
man."
Did was party back then, man.
And I'm like, "You fooled me," because every time he was in here, bro, he's just with it about his money and all that. And
nobody talked that much.
Right. Yeah. Just, jaws cracked.
Man, we used to have so much fun with that guy.
Yeah. That's after that. I ran into you like in New York.
New York, yeah.
Or New Jersey. I don't remember.
I don't remember the name of that convention. Me and Chris Torres were there.
Yeah. Were you guys in the booth together, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember who you were with.
He's from New York.
Right. Yeah.
Chris Torres, he was on New York Inc.
Yeah. The New York one. After that, you just still rode out some conventions and then you just kind of slowed down.
Yeah, pretty much I got to a point where I was just doing Fresno because my homie runs it and I have a good time.
Yeah, all the guys from the
last few years I've just got a booth and then hung out, it's kind of like a reunion,
Yeah, the last time I did it was with Lurk and I ended up bringing my client here because they were gonna close this, and I was like, well, they're gonna close this. Let's just go to the shop.
Yeah, and
I think that's when I realized I told Lurk, I was like, what do you think, man? Do you feel it? You want to do it again? I'll go if you'll do it. And he's like, oh, we'll see, man. And then I don't think he was really as motivated to do it either. And
I did Fresno since the first one.
Yeah. I remember the first time I got a booth, I thought like we were set because it's a hard one to get into when you think about it.
It's because the same guys keep coming back.
Exactly.
I tried to get 3 booths this year and he just had me down for 2 automatically.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it, I guess, 20 years, 21 years or however long it's been.
Yeah. Hearing about the Fresno convention, I never really attended it until I started to really felt that, I guess, up to par to hang, right? Yeah. And that's when I started doing it. And my first actual experience was with Lurk, and it took off from there.
Was that still at the other spot it was?
Buy-Selling Arena. It was like this little hall.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, Valdez Hall or something.
Yeah, there you go. So it was in there, and then I went to like the fairgrounds, right? Yeah. So after that, we just weren't as motivated to do it because I was like, it's good for advertisement for the whole promotional.
I just like going and hanging out with friends.
And you see everybody. You see everybody because a lot of the Texas guys come out and from all over.
A lot of the same guys been doing it every year. And
right.
Built friendships. And
stuff. Yeah, but like Chris and all those guys, they asked me, was like, you want to get another one? Because I would see them at all the, back in the day, the Pomona, all the body arts, right? So then you get in touch with everybody.
They're all dope, man.
Those are fun, man. Like
I go far enough back with those guys at conventions that there was a Bakersfield tattoo convention.
Right.
Chris Earl too.
I remember that Chris, yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit.
Shout out Chris Earl, man. I gotta talk about all the history on that.
OG, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think they're still gonna do those casino ones.
Yeah.
They had
those ones do good.
Those ones are good, dude. I did one.
Chris off and he kicked me out of them for a couple years.
Oh,
because I didn't show up without telling him.
Oh, okay.
I got something happened and I didn't show up, and
right.
I wish you would have told me, and they wouldn't let me come back the next 2 years.
Oh, I think they started narrowing down the tolerance. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Chris is cool. I was going for a while. I was living in Tehachapi. I'd go drive into Bakersfield and tattoo at a shop. He had what's it called? First Amendment.
Yeah, First Amendment. Yeah, there's I went to go guest spotting in Bakersfield, and that's when I realized the amount of shops that were there too. I was like, I didn't know. Me and
Bobby are going to tattoo over there next month.
Oh, where
at Joey Mullen shop.
Okay,
Self-Image.
Yeah, Self-Image.
You ever get a chance to bring that guy on your podcast, dude?
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him,
dude.
He's
a character, bro.
We'll have to talk to him.
Fucking rad.
There's a lot of guys I like to know about that history out there too, because it's its own little
like OG Bakersfield tattoo artist too.
Yeah,
been around a long time.
Go and give us who you are, what style. If you have a style, what kind of style you do, where you're from, your shop, all that good stuff, and kind of get it cracking.
All right. David Tower. I own 92 Proof Tattoo. Mostly a black and gray artist, but I do color, pretty much anything that tattoo anything,
Yeah. I first seen your work from my own visual. I saw you transition.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw you do a lot of color.
Yeah.
I would see you do black and gray, but your black and gray started
I started out with black and gray.
Okay.
And then when I got out of prison, I'm like, fuck, all I want to do is color.
Just color.
Because I was looking at tattoo magazines and shit. I'm like, this is where the money's at,
Right.
So then did color forever. And then one day I got forced to do black and gray again. I was tattooing in LA in Whittier, and it was actually my ex. She came in and she was like, I want my old back done black and gray.
Okay.
And I was trying to talk her into getting it done by Mikey. And
Whittier, what shop was that?
It was a self-made tattoo.
Okay.
It was Mikey Hernandez, Miami Catfish. And then Mikey's like, no, you're going to do it, man. You're going to do this back piece. And, and I'm all,
put you through the floors.
Right. And you know, it's East LA. So it's also down there with like all my essay boys, you know? And then Mikey's like, no, I'm going to sit with you. We're going to do this whole thing, you know?
Right.
And we sat down, did our whole back in 2 days.
That's crazy.
It got in tattoo magazines. I won Fresno Tattoo Convention first place with it.
So you entered it.
Pomona, and then I'm like, oh, this is what I do now. You know?
Kind of got you that reel and hook. Yeah. So how did this get on the radar as far as wanting to tattoo? What was like the first start? Because did you do time first, or did you do like how did you get? I
started tattooing in Youth Authority when I was 14.
14.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you've been tattooing as long as I can remember. 14, you were like in the game.
Yeah, I was in Youth Authority and we'd just sharpen staples. Pick.
OG style.
And then when I got to state at 18. And then my homie taught me how to make a tattoo machine, tattooed the whole time in there. Just kept it going, What'd
you use to make it? Like the old like radio, the radio Walkman
motors,
stuff?
CD Walkman motors, any rotary motors.
And the concept of getting it down, because it's something new.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Recently somebody asked me, like, how is it that, like, how did you know this is what you want to do? And my response was, I didn't know I was going to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's some people nowadays, I guess they're more like certain. This is what I want to do. This is like a trade. This is a career path now.
Yeah.
Like if we put it in that perspective, right? But I told him, I was like, you know what? This wasn't planned out. I didn't plan to do this. Everybody had an original direction.
Yeah, I didn't plan on it either.
There's a shift of life, and then
man, that's all.
You're just
and then tattooing, and then just kind of started making a little bit of money tattooing, and knew I wasn't going to sell drugs forever. You know,
right.
Started losing interest in prison and all that.
So your surroundings, though, like where were you growing up?
My mom lived where I live now.
Okay,
and then my dad lived in Vegas, so I was back and forth, Vegas, California, back and forth, and then. It's kind of the same environment, both places, attracted to the same crowd.
Okay. So I guess your environment played a big part, obviously.
I had the same style of friends in both places,
Right. You get out, did you try to get a job? Did you try to get like
hell no.
You just went straight to hustling, straight to streets?
When I first stopped selling dope, I wasn't making that much money tattooing. And I had a homie of mine that he owned a crime scene cleanup company.
Okay.
Where we cleaned up what's left after a crime scene.
Yeah.
And I got on with him, kind of had a work truck and everything.
Yeah.
Did that just a little bit, just to kind of make a little bit more money.
Right.
And then once I just dove head first into tattooing,
What was your first experiences like when you were like getting your setup? What was it, an eBay setup? Like how did you get all your stuff?
Well, when I first got out, I ordered from I think Cam Tattoo Supply.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't very many options. You know what I'm saying? We had like Stuff Pipe and Visalia.
Oh yeah, we got a smoke shop to get everything.
And did like 2-3 tattoos in my living room, and then I got in on a tattoo shop called Toxic Ink. It was like it's not around no more, but
where was that?
It was in Armona. Which is a town I grew up in, a little 2-mile town.
Okay. How did you start spreading word? Just like the homies you were hanging with?
It didn't matter back then, man. There wasn't very many options for people, like fucking, there was only 2 tattoo shops,
right?
And then I was out partying, meeting people, and there wasn't very many options,
Yeah.
So we weren't even I wasn't even good. I don't even think I was good till like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
Everybody walked in, I act like I've been doing it for 100 years.
You just faked the phone, yeah.
A lot of touch-ups.
Yeah, right. You got touch-up Wednesdays.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of touch-ups, man.
Yeah.
Back then, man, tattooing was different than now, People didn't know what a good tattoo looked like.
Yeah.
They didn't have Facebook, Instagram. They didn't have Google, any of that. I don't know if MySpace was around yet, but it wasn't nothing, nobody knew what a good tattoo looked like. So we were just doing whatever on people.
I think the biggest exposure at the time before all that was magazines.
Tattoo magazines.
Even like conventions were on the late grind.
Yeah, like Flash and Tattoo and Lowrider Art.
Right.
I was like,
and that's literally when the tattoos were considered like for a certain outcasted, like segregated people that were getting them,
like such a
broad
type of clientele,
right?
I got like gangsters coming in from
Ray
and old hillbillies coming in,
but like the time when you started, you were in the Wild West times of tattooing. That's what I mean. Like that was like the
stars,
outlaw,
koi fish,
right?
Flames. Everybody's getting flames on their arms, and we were doing anything we wanted back then.
That was that Rockstar.
There was no health department to tell us not to do anything. There was just nothing. We did whatever
like lawless country,
whatever we wanted to do, man.
Right. So that's what I mean. Like there's different shifts and generational shifts of like the tattoo industry.
Oh yeah, it's different
from even like way beyond, right? The pike and all the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not that far back, but man, I saw like,
but you saw
a
it,
good
right?
time in tattooing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
a good time. Like,
He said, I burned it.
I still hold on to that shit. That's like in my head. That's where I'm still at right now. You know.
Well, I feel like that's structured to what, because we talked a little bit and how it's structured your system of how you hustle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so a lot of that has with your background, that obviously like different like exposure to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was curious when I asked Bobby. So those of you listening and don't know, Bobby, who's the last episode, works at 92 and he's been with you for how long? You say like
10, 11 years.
10, 11 years.
Yeah.
So, and I asked him, what did you see coming into the industry that was maybe like impact you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as of eye opener of like, what am I getting myself into? And he didn't really have much to like respond to that because he had it very, again, he came up in another.
He had it pretty easy, but I was rough on him too.
Right.
I made him put in a lot of hours. You know, that's what we always did. I didn't apprentice, so I never like did the like full on apprenticeship with anybody. You know, I think you guys talked about scrubbing tubes. I think he had to scrub tubes like one day, and then the disposable ones came around.
Right.
And I'm always like the last one to jump on shit. You know, because I'm not very observant. You know, I'm just like doing my shit the same way every day.
Well, then your comfort too, right? Whatever you start with, you like. Change is hard.
Yeah, so they probably all knew about disposable tubes before I even did, you know?
Right, that makes sense.
But nah, he didn't have it super easy. But I didn't go through an apprenticeship, so he didn't get all the like
the traditional,
like being punked and all that. You know, I never treat somebody that way. So, but he put in a lot of hours with me, you know, late nights, you know, and
so that's why I was curious because he was able to absorb and observe all that, like you know, because I'm thinking about like my own personal experiences. That's why I was curious if you had any like parallel. We're exposed to a lot, you know, a crazy amount.
Yeah, I was on Blackstone for a while too. I had a shop on Blackstone in Princeton. That's where 92 first started.
Okay, I was going to ask you that because I remember, because I used to be, remember Zim?
Yeah, Zim.
Okay, so I was like with him at Eternal. We're right there by Shields first, where, you know.
That was like Palm and Olive, right?
Yeah, I don't know where he's at right now, but last thing he's like, I'm bouncing to Oregon.
I always wonder where he's at. Him and Taco.
Yeah. So yeah, I was getting all my first tattoos by him, man. But
I tell people about him all the time because he had one
arm. The one-armed pirate, dude. Zim, the one-armed man.
He tattooed with one arm. And Taco would set him up. He didn't have Eternal. He had, he bought it from Richard, right?
Yeah.
And then,
he had Timeless, I think.
Timeless,
yeah. Timeless. And then, and that's the thing though, like I was young at the time, so I didn't really ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But he would literally just, all the memories I have of him, man, are just like, I was just watching everything he did.
Yeah.
I didn't learn from him. Again, I was just getting tattooed by him. But and I think I mentioned it to him one time. I was like, I think I want to try to tat. And he just steered me away, but he was just like, yeah.
I was a full time in tattooing still too. They moved to merge to a different direction, but
they went from that Blackstone location to Tower.
Yeah.
So Tower District, and then at the times I remember you had a 92 proof.
I had a
right
shop
there.
in Tower too. It wasn't there when Zim was there. I had already moved to Blackstone, but I started on Palm and Olive.
Okay, Palm and Olive.
So I worked at that shop, Toxic Ink.
Okay.
And then I decided I was going to open up my own place and move to Fresno. It's like a homie shop. You know, it's owned by a couple guys that didn't tattoo. You know? Yeah. They did the same thing I did back then, you know?
Right. But you were self-taught.
Pretty much, man. I just had a bunch of homies that would show me little things, you know?
So you're going to write the standard of what you think an apprenticeship would be when somebody comes to you and be like, hey, I want to learn a tattoo. Are you taking apprentices? Like, when did you?
I've apprenticed a few people, you know, and I didn't really do the apprenticeship you hear about, you know, like they're going to clean, obviously, shit like that, but it's mostly hours, man. Cause I put in a lot of hours, you know?
Right.
So still I do, but not like I did back then.
Yeah.
Like back then it was 10 a.m. till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and they'd be there the whole time with me, you know?
Right.
I've apprenticed a few people, but never like that like treating them bad type thing, you know, like little pranks here and there, you know? I was just putting people on is what I was doing. I wasn't really apprenticing, you know?
To know that I'm self-taught, but these guys want to learn. And then you got to sit back and be like, what do I have to offer? But then you have a mindset where you're like, you're going to learn my way, boy. You better strap up.
I don't really have I don't have like a way I do things, man. I just kind of, you know, go right.
It's unorthodox.
Yeah.
You know?
Just do whatever feels right at the
you hear from different people. Like, this is step one to apprentice, you know?
The first person I apprenticed, her name was Megan. Okay. She was only 17. Yeah. I met her dad. Right. And her dad came in with her. And she used to draw a lot. She was like a troubled kid. She was getting kicked out of school and all that. And he came in and he was like kind of like an old school cholo type guy, you know, and he came in and he was like, I don't have any money. He's like, I don't have much to offer. He's like, I'll come in here every day and clean your floors, whatever it takes to get her in here.
Yeah.
Well, but because she was only 17, I was like, oh, you're gonna have to hang out or something, you know? Like he came in every day and sat there with her while she tattooed.
Dang.
And she was with me for like 10 years.
Wow.
Extremely successful. She lives in Tennessee now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he sat there every day with her so she could learn how to tattoo. He ended up passing away, and I feel like it was like kind of his like last thing before he passed away.
He wanted to make sure she's good.
Set her up. You know, set her up. She made a lot of money, you know. I would change the lock sometimes on the door to make her take a day off.
Dang.
And she'd call me screaming, I got appointments. I'm like, I don't care. You're going to take a day off. She'd work 300 days straight. She didn't care.
Built a monster, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
She was a little quiet girl. She was probably like, maybe like 4'10". She was a little tiny girl. And she just worked all day long, just tattooed.
That was at 92, right? At the other location? So when did you move? Like, when did you, because you closed shop out here and
so
then you're just like.
I opened up, I'm real bad with dates and times.
Sure, yeah, just like roughly.
Maybe like 2005. A couple years into that, I opened up 92 Proof.
Okay.
And then I had 2 shops, one in Lemoore, one in Fresno.
That's what I remember, that you had 2 locations.
Yeah, and then I shut down the Fresno one and just stuck with Lemoore.
Was it a lot for you to be like managing too much?
Nah, I just didn't want to.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm going to stay over there.
Yeah, all the cats that were over there, I didn't really like, you know.
Okay.
So and Lemoore was working out real good, so I stuck with it.
Again, that's another thing about like, when shops become hostile, you've seen that.
Oh, all the time.
You've seen that. You've seen it where you're like, you got to hold it. There's a hostile environment when there's a war zone in the shop, you know?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. It was just like, guys,
quite a few fists.
You have to go outside, right? You go outside, figure it out. Come back in.
Bobby's had to pull me and a couple guys apart from each other.
Sure.
I opened up Hanford and closed Lemoore down.
And I got you. That's what it was.
The only reason I did that is because Lemoore was real small, and I grew it, you know, and Lemoore didn't have any commercial properties that were available, so I went up there.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
because I'm thinking about like the time frame. Also, like, when was your first like convention experience? Was it a local one? Or?
Shit, man, that was my first convention experience. Was how I know everybody.
Okay,
like all these guys like and everything. So I drove to how much do you want said on this podcast?
Whatever.
Okay. So back then I was selling dope. You know?
Oh yeah.
And
allegedly
that was the way that everybody, you know. So I got a mason jar fork.
Okay.
Drove to Denver, Colorado to the Body Art Expo. and just made a whole bunch of friends. I ruined the whole convention. They actually kicked me out of it because on Saturday, back then they did conventions Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
By Saturday, nobody even tattooed because everybody's so hungover.
Yeah,
thanks to David. Okay. Yeah, I made friends with everybody, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Then, that was my first convention, but I didn't even tattoo. I just went there and made a bunch of friends, you know?
Right.
All these guys I was seeing in tattoo magazines, I wanted to meet them.
Yeah.
Went over there and just partied all weekend. I'm still friends with almost all of them, you know?
While you're still tattooing, though, but you didn't tattoo at the convention, right?
I didn't tattoo at the convention.
Okay.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I
just went out there to make some friends that were tattoo artists, you know?
That's interesting, man, because
I
I'm
didn't
like...
know any professional tattoo artists back then.
Okay.
There wasn't very many, you know? Back Fresno had like my brothers, Wes and Dustin Smiley, you know? They had a shop. And then Jim had a shop, Skin Decor.
Okay.
And then there's maybe 5 tattoo shops, you know? And I'm friends with all of them now, but back then I didn't know them, you know? Like Wes and Dustin. But in my area, there was no professional tattoo artist besides Lou.
Right.
I don't know if you ever met Lou Bumpus. He's an old cranky man.
I think so, dude.
With him.
Yeah.
And then Dan and Chris. So I went out of town and made a bunch of tattoo artist friends, learned a whole bunch, you know?
Yeah.
And then
getting exposed to that with these guys,
And then I ended up just booking like to go hang out over there. Not even a guest spot, just hang out, learn from them.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we did it, you know?
So that was how you were soaking up game.
I knew the way to people's heart, man. That's what that shit, you know?
No, I like that, dude. That's funny.
The first convention I actually like tattooed and took serious was San Diego.
Which one was
it? It was me, Roman, Carson Hill, and Cholo shared a booth.
Cholo? Yeah, Piercer? Yeah,
Piercer.
Yeah, he's cool.
And we just squeezed in one little booth and just tattooed all week.
Have you seen his new shop?
Yeah,
his new setup is dope, dude.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, but I still got him on Instagram and shit.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Yeah, we just squeezed in a little booth. You know, me and Cholo were in the front.
Yeah.
I was just tattooing off a little 2 chairs, you know?
Right.
And then Roman and Carson had their whole booth set up. And
what was your mindset, though? Were you trying to like, because you're exposed to the grind?
I just knew that there was so much fucking money in it.
Right,
you know?
okay.
Like, that's all I cared about, man.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to do what I was doing forever.
Right.
You know?
When you were hustling in the streets, though, that surrounding, did you see something to kind of like be like, hey, this ain't the answer? What would start to impact? Like, what would be like for you to just be
it was never intended forever. You know,
okay,
like, it was just what I did, you know?
Right.
And then, you know, through youth authority, through prison and everything like that, I knew I wasn't going to go back to prison.
Yeah.
So
you're like, that's a waste of time.
At the moment, But it's always had an end to it. You know, I never wanted to do it forever.
Yeah. Think about that, though, because it's like a shift of like the change is a personal change. I mean, I've heard it from everybody. Like, yo, David's calmed down a lot. David's this, David's that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
calmed down a lot, man.
I'm like, yeah, man. It's like, it's
sober now.
It's good to hear, right? How long you been
2
sober?
years.
2 years? Yeah, congrats. That's dope.
Yeah.
So then,
first time since I was 14.
Do you feel like locked in more? Like more?
Just bored now. Like bored out of my book.
Cut my hours shorter.
I watch TV. I never watch TV, and now I'm like watching TV every night.
Right.
I'm just bored out of my mind now.
Just bored. You're trying to like fidget with stuff.
I built a whole life off of the rhetoric and the nonsense.
Well, that's the thing though. You've been planting seeds, whether good or bad. It is what it is, huh?
Yeah. I got my kid. We just hang out all the time.
Yeah.
It's cool as hell.
You were talking about. I understand what you meant about the whole like not. I don't want to say art because obviously you did art though, right? Like you were doing art, spray paint. What did you do? What kind of mediums did you do?
I never spray painted.
Like what kind
I hung out with a lot of guys that spray painted, but I was always like huffing paint and shit.
Right.
You know, I was the guy watching for the cops and huffing the gold Krylon. But I just drew. Man. You know, like I spent a lot of time in juvenile hall as a kid, and when I'd get in there, I'd draw a lot. You know, draw little birthday cards, you send them back to your mom. Right. And then I always knew how to draw. I can look at anything and draw it. Yeah. So I like we'd find like, you know, we all passed around patterns. Sure. Like that. We just did some pattern of Mickey Mouse, whatever. Yeah. Draw little happy birthday cards, and then we'd always pick with a needle and thread. Yeah. You know, like all of our legs.
Started like picking.
And then when I got to state, same thing, man. Got there, had a homie teach me how to make a machine, showed me how to sharpen the needles. Right. Making soups. Make it
soups, yeah, bro. You gotta get that commissaries on.
And I tattooed the whole 4 years I was in there. I got out, just stuck to it, you know?
Yeah. I think that's a big answer to it too, huh? The big key. Yeah. Everybody I spoke to there, I'm like, boy of mine was his name was Mitch. He was next to me. He started tattooing before me, but he started getting like a shaky hand. Mm-hmm. And that was just like a condition he had. He's like, I don't have a steady hand.
I don't either. That's why I do realism.
Right.
I can't run line. My line work's trash.
But the thing is, he was really into traditional. Yeah. He went to like the blue collar thing. If you would have stuck it out, you know, I think that was a big key. Yeah. And just find a balancer in between.
Black and gray realism.
That's what, shift to change. Yeah. Go to different style. All, man. Did you ever do traditional? Because I know you did Flash. Yeah. I've seen you do it, but I'm thinking like,
but I just did whatever people wanted. Right. You know what I mean? Like I went from tattooing skulls and gangs.
That's like street shop mentality.
Yeah. Anything
like walk-ins.
I'm still that way. When I leave here, I actually picked up a walk-in that called. I'm gonna go over there and tattoo something with a little tree and a bird. Okay. Tattoo whatever, man. You know, we're 1-to-1, so we make money by working.
Exactly.
Still not too picky, you know, like I don't like to do like I hate doing St. Michael's. Oh, sure. I'll still do them, but there's sometimes I'll take a break from them for a year or so.
And then you get that spark.
I'm like, you know what? I don't like doing St. Michael's just because I did so many of them.
Right. You know? I mean, I heard it from Lurk. You had this method of promoting before social media. Yeah. And that was flyering, boots on the ground.
Yeah, like business cards. I'd give out business. I still carry around business cards with me. Right. I got 20 of them in my pocket right now.
Yeah. I have a little business card case I had to get just because I'm the same way. That's how we
made our money, man.
That's just,
me and my homies, if we try to catch each other without business cards and we don't, you know, whoever don't got them owes burpees, you know?
Yeah, burpees all day. We did.
Go out, find just random towns we didn't know anything about, like Fireball or somewhere random like that. Go there, flyer all the cars downtown, everything, and then find somewhere to go drink.
That's crazy.
And we made a lot of money doing flyers.
Yeah, that's prospecting.
I don't do it as often anymore, but sometimes I get a little, you know, want to. But years ago, we used to just print them out. You know, you get for $20, you get like 1,000 of them at Staples. Right. And just go put them on windshield wipers.
Tape, yeah.
And my grandpa's the reason I did that. He used to, when he was a kid, he said that he worked for this oil change company. And he would carry around a bucket and a squeegee and get paid by the hour to do it. He'd go there, wash their windows on cars, like in parking lots at, I want to say like Walmart or something. I don't know if it was around. Right. But wherever they went, they'd clean their windows and then leave a flyer on there that said your window is cleaned by this company. Okay. You know? And
that's smart because then you're leaving your, you know.
That's how my grandpa used to talk about it all the time. And then people would feel obligated to go to that oil change company.
That's already spreading the name and then getting a reputation. Yeah. And we mentioned it earlier. That's like brand.
Yeah, it is.
It's similar, like
the old school way of promoting, you know?
Right.
And we just go everywhere, down Blackstone to the mall. You know, we get ran off by security at parking lots. Yeah. Because it's what we did, man.
Right.
Who, everybody.
So then, like, I'm curious, who taught you the business? Is that something also?
The business end of it?
Yeah.
I still don't got that down.
Right, no, it's hard to
I got my bills on auto pay, and I just make sure there's enough money to keep the lights on.
Just keep money above it.
Yeah, I'm not good at the business side of it. Yeah, I'm not. It's not my best thing.
It's a hard thing. Yeah.
I pay the bills, and that's where it's at.
Right.
But mostly I'm just there, you know.
But you opened up X amount of shops, right?
Yeah.
Locations. Make that
when
money.
When I started opening, there was no health department, nothing. All you had to do was go down and get a fictitious business name for $20 and find a place that'll let you tattoo out of it.
Yeah.
And then that was it. You know, now you got inspections and, you know, and like you got to come up with a floor plan and show where the sinks are and all. There was none of that.
Right.
You know, like with my first tattoo shop, the bathroom was also where we scrub tubes. You know, like
in the sink or
the same sink. Everybody's washing their hands. You know, like then we would have the autoclave. The autoclave would be in the bathroom. Right. You know, it's just how it was. You know?
I remember you going
and we didn't know no better. Man.
I remember there was like a turn at a shop. It was like a closet.
Yeah,
that was
I would never
storage.
do that now. You know, I'd never do that now.
Yeah,
but like we had carpet in our shops.
Right.
Like, you know, like the first Sick Boy tattoo had carpet the whole shop.
Yeah.
You know, and like it was just different.
It wasn't as thought out.
Definitely grew up from all that, but we didn't know any better. There was no bloodborne pathogens training. There was none of that shit.
Right.
You know, I don't remember how I knew how to use an autoclave. Somebody must have taught me. You know.
Yeah.
I knew how to sterilize tubes properly. I knew how to do all that, but I don't know. I don't remember who taught me.
Yeah, because it's really important to know.
Yeah, it is.
You're spreading the love. You know what I mean?
We got to Harbor Freight and get the ultrasonic cleaners.
Yeah, the ultrasonic cleaners. I had a homie that was tattooing out of the house and was doing that. Yeah. He just had dude, he had a crock pot, and a crack pot.
All it takes is heat and pressure, man.
Yeah. He had a crock pot. He was like, "What are you throwing in there? Is it my tubes?"
Shit, I didn't know any better. Like when we were in the joint, we were just putting our needles in barbicide.
Right, barbicide.
We were all using the same fucking needles. I remember later when I started learning like what like Hep A and Hep B and Hep C was. I'm like, oh, I for sure got that. Shocked when I didn't have it.
Right,
you know,
that's funny, dude.
We shared tattoo needles.
Yeah,
we pour our ink. Like because it was so hard to make ink in it.
Right.
We'd pour it back in the little vials, you know, like after we're done using it.
Yeah.
I remember when I started learning what it was, I'm like, oh, I got that for sure.
You're over here thinking like, I'm going to pinch pennies.
Yeah. I'm like,
I'm going to make this ink last.
I definitely got Hep C, you know.
Oh, for sure. It's like you survived
the first time I got tested, I'm like, I don't.
You were like, oh, you were ready for the worst, huh?
I'm like, shit, I told him the same thing. He's like, yeah, I'm surprised too.
The old machines, they would have a certain throw.
Yeah.
And the weight, sometimes the clipboard gets caught and then it would snap back and you poke yourself.
Oh, sure.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I'm surprised I got a bunch of dots on me.
Yeah, for sure.
And
snag,
snag. And then there goes your hand and you get your thumb. You're like,
we don't have dots all over.
I know. It's like, but I remember those times you're freaking out. I remember one of the artists was like, soak your hand in like Maticide or something. And if it burns, bro, you got AIDS, bro. There's a whole procedure of everything now. And
I don't know where I learned it at. Somebody must have taught me or something.
Yeah.
I ended up starting to learn to do things the right way.
Right.
But at first, definitely not.
Yeah, it builds your immune system. You know what I mean?
And then I kind of caught the tail end of making our own needles.
Okay.
You know, like we were making our own needles with the jig and shit.
Yeah.
And then
soldering.
Cam Tattoo Supply came around with the boxes of 50.
Yeah, it was like the singles.
Yeah.
Or like, little tiny little guys.
So
and the gauge, you have to like learn gauge. Yeah.
I still know how to make them, but I didn't make a whole lot of them.
Yeah, that was not fun, man. Especially after you make them, you got to put them in little packets and sterilize.
5 hours after work, getting ready for the next day, you know, making needles, sterilizing tubes and shit.
It has to be really precise.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly how, well, now we know how to make a mag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a curved mag.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's got to be certain flat and one needle can't be poking a little out.
Yeah.
Then everything's got to be nice and compact.
Yeah, we used to use like jigs and
the jigs that you like lay 5 flat. I remember trying to make the liners too.
Caught like the tail end of it.
Yeah. Like, so like pigments or none of that. You didn't even.
No, we were using like Moms was around.
Moms,
Starbright.
Yeah. Kurosumi was very big at the time.
That was
too.
The black, right?
The black. Remember that? Yeah. Indian ink, which is like drawing ink.
Yeah.
And boil it.
Oh, boil it
to make it darker. Like the black would be a lot more concentrated.
I remember using Kurosumi and like Starbright was the best because it was so bright colors. You know?
Starbright yellow, canary yellow was like, and the white was a banger.
When I came into it, there was companies starting to, you know, sell shit. It was like, I think Cam Tattoo Supply was the only one. You know, that was like delivering.
Yeah, the only times I ever got explosive was seeing what people were ordering at the shop. Workhorse.
You order $100, they send you a free tattoo machine.
Yeah, something like that. They had like their own little machine, like a little Jonesy or something.
Or they had that little logo that looked like a devil.
Oh, yeah.
Quick shout out to Helios Tattoo Supplies, one of the newest sponsors for the podcast. I'm proud to be a sponsored pro team member using their needles on the daily. Next time you're thinking about stocking up on supplies, head over to the website heliostattoos.com. Thanks again to Helios for sponsoring myself as an artist and sponsoring the pod.
Building machines and all that, you never... You just got it because I know earlier you said if a spring snap.
I still don't know how to build a tattoo machine.
So then what was like your first setup? of machines? Was it like, because
it was probably front cam.
Okay.
And it was some like
just whatever coils they had. Yeah.
And I remember you could buy like this kit, was like the Big Green machine or something. You
Oh,
that?
yeah.
It was like,
it was with the big old power supply
machine.
though too.
Oh, the National. I never learned about tattoo machines. I just kept buying them. You know, I'd buy them from good builders, you know.
Right.
Like Georgia Burger we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, earlier, man. That was funny when you said,
big fan of David Burns. And I still have a bunch of machines, but I've been slowly giving them away, you know.
Yeah. We're talking about change and you went into iPad.
Yeah.
But before stenciling, you were just...
Yeah, I was like the last. I was back at Talks to You days. We had the Cherry Creek book.
Oh yeah,
I made a lot of money.
Yeah. A lot of return for that.
Yeah, just pick one. I got you.
Yeah, I remember that, man. Where it's like you're getting you're going to talk about how many St. Michael's you did.
Man.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It when you think about it, when you sit and think about it to where we are now, our mind kind of adapted to that. Like this is the norm.
I could draw script now and shit, but back then, like I had a homie that named Happy. His name was Happy, and he used to have to draw my script for me.
He'd draw it out for you, and then you just like stencil that up, right?
I just stencil it and then tattoo it.
Yeah,
but it was different back then.
Light box was a thing too.
Yeah,
everybody had the big old.
I still have a light box in my shop.
Yeah,
it's never been used.
Yeah, it's like it became like that's where you just eat your lunch or something. You remember that? Everybody was like papers everywhere, and then. But I remember when it was like very staple to have the big LED box, and you always had a guy back there.
Trace it.
His appointment is waiting in the front, and they're just tracing.
And the way you collage it, just put a bunch together and trace it on one big paper.
Right. Yeah. All that stuff is just crazy to.
Done now.
I was trying to teach that. Yeah. Everything's all iPad, and everything's. I'll never go back.
Never go back.
Well, it's now what you did before, like to actually, you had to know some sort of. Like you had to get into art, inspired to do some sort of art. I know how to draw. Like I can draw just about anything. But right now,
but I just don't.
But right now, you're more in tune with like what you're doing with life. You're living.
Yeah.
You're like.
Yeah. I don't draw a lot for fun.
Yeah. Right.
I remember the last time I drew for fun.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this when I go home. Yeah, right. If you're gonna draw in the shop, maybe. But I feel like we always have something to do, even if we're not. You know, if our client isn't here, we're still doing something.
Yeah,
whether
for sure.
And to see again, that's another transitional shift into. Like where everything is, but I was just curious because I know it's like I think to our core, we all have to somehow, whatever trade you do, you have to be, driven by that hustle. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you have to be like grinding. You can't just be like, I'm going to turn this wrench and I don't care about the money. Like I just want to turn wrenches. I just want to change rims. I want to change tires. And load up some lugs. And I don't know, dude. You got to be about it, bro.
I love tattooing, but I want to do it for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, then you found value in it, obviously. Like
pays
people,
my bills and
right.
I got a pretty decent life, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you like them toys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You like to have a good time. You like to get
toys. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, you started getting like what? Your first house at what age would you say?
I bought my first house in 15.
Okay, and then you just knew you did your own like remodeling and all that. 5.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's all through
through tattooing.
Through your tattooing.
I invest a lot. I got a lot of stuff in like crypto and stocks and CDs and IRAs and shit.
Was any of that just by some clients saying like, do this, do that?
Well, I did like the initial investing stuff came from my grandpa.
Okay.
He was self-made. And
okay.
Like
he was like your mentor.
Old farmer with like a 6th grade education.
Okay.
That when he died was worth millions, all because of investing.
Sure.
He told me about IRAs and he knew what I was doing for money,
Right.
But he still talked to me like a businessman, even though he didn't like what I was making money off of,
Yeah.
And then, he told me to start an IRA, which is the first thing I did, So when I was 20, I started an IRA and then I started seeing that build up and build up and then started looking into other risk-free ways of making money, and then I started in 2019, I met a guy, or I didn't meet him, but I started talking to him about crypto in 2019 and he got me into start making money on that.
Right before pandemic.
And,
right before pandemic where crypto was like crazy.
I got into it at a good
slept
point,
on it, dude. I was like,
I didn't.
I seen a lot of stuff.
I wish I would have dove way more into it, but I didn't make good.
It's crazy how something flipped quick.
Yeah. It did. He helped me find my first house, and it was an investment property and I fixed it up, rented it out. Now I got a rental property.
Right.
And I did that again. And
you just kept doing that in building.
That 4 times now,
Okay.
And now I just bought my 5th house.
Okay.
And that one, I bought that one completely done. I'm done remodeling the house. So I burnt myself out. So now this new house I just bought 2 months ago, completely done. Beautiful house.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like sitting on the couch watching TV, wishing I had something to remodel,
Right. Yeah, because it's that tinkering thing. Because
Yeah,
you're bored.
it keeps me busy.
That mind, man.
Yeah.
So then you went into like, you know, this is the hustle. The shop's the hustle. Tattooing's the hustle. Conventions weren't really like you only went there for one reason. That's just to turn cash out. And
that first convention was just like to make friends in tattooing and to learn, because there was no
connections.
There's no way to learn tattooing without knowing tattooers.
Right,
I mean?
right.
Well, now I guess now you can watch YouTube and shit, but back then,
yeah,
you had to watch somebody, you know. And me and Roman hit it off real quick, and he was like, that was right when he was starting to get huge, you know. And he just let me just stare over his shoulder.
Yeah,
and then there was just a whole bunch of tattoo artists, you know, let me stare over their shoulder all the time. And I've always been one to ask a million questions, you know.
Right.
I'm gonna ask you questions until you tell me to get away from me, you know.
Yeah.
And none of them ever told me to get away, you know. They just kept telling me shit, you know.
Yeah.
Or like if they didn't know something, they told me somebody I could go ask, you know.
So you'd go out to LA to really
all the time. Yeah. I ended up in LA. It must have been like 15 years ago.
Okay.
A tattoo artist, Mikey Hernandez. I used to see him in like the Lowrider art magazines.
Oh, yeah.
He was a big like East LA tattoo artist. Somebody from Hanford was getting tattooed by him, and he was coming up here to do it at his house. He would come up here, and then he would set him up with like 10 people, and he'd tattoo him. And I was like, fuck, I always want to meet that guy.
Right.
Tell him to set up at my shop. And he ended up setting up at my shop. We turned it into like a 4-day party. You know, partied and tattooed. And he's like, come down to my shop in Whittier, or is it in Santa Fe Springs? He lived in Whittier. And
what's the name of his shop?
His name was Selfmade.
Oh, that was the Selfmade one. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Yeah.
But I'd go down there and tattoo his shop, and his shop was like a back alley. It was in a commercial area, like where no traffic, no anything.
Right.
Where, you know, like with one of the big warehouse stores and then a little office store.
Yeah.
No, it was just a private studio, completely private.
So completely all like, yeah.
And it was just like, I don't want to say the gang he's from, but it was just his gang.
Sure.
And they would come in and out, and all kinds of shit happened out of there. But then there was a tattoo studio in the back. And I was the only white boy there tattooing just all day long, and had the time of my life down there.
You don't go to Vegas anymore because you say you're...
not really.
No, you don't.
Especially now that I'm sober.
Right. You're just kind of, there's no calling. There's no calling. There's no use.
Nothing there for me now, you know?
How does it feel, dude? What made you really like time to...
I always recreationally partied.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where every weekend I was partying, and I wasn't... Sundays I wasn't doing shit because I was all hungover, and then just figured it's time. I had a good run.
Was your body telling you like...
Yeah. For sure. Those hangovers were lasting 4 or 5 days, you know? And I'd be calling Bobby, you know, I'd call him at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's the only guy I know that answers his phone that time, you know?
Right.
Him,
he's up in an hour.
He'd give me a ride home, and like, I'm fucking asking for a ride home at 3 o'clock in the morning shit. So I don't know. I just figured it was time.
I mean, but
my kid likes me a lot more now. You know, more present, you know.
You're like, I'm more approachable.
Yeah. Like I wasn't like too carried away with it, but it was like every Friday night.
Yeah.
Every Friday night I'd get off work and just party all weekend, you know. And then like it was just getting too much, you know.
Yeah.
My bank account likes me a lot more now too.
Right. The time that you were with Lurk, that was what, 2000.
Shit. I don't know. Man, it was just
So like Lurk said, and I quote, David Towers showed me how to be a rock star.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
we'd get to the shop at 10 o'clock in the morning and tattoo 10, 12 hours.
Yeah.
Go to the bar for another 4 hours, go sleep a little bit, right back to it every day. I don't think I told him, after I heard your podcast, I texted him. I'm like, fuck, man, that was a crazy year.
Yeah.
Like, we lost our families. We lost our girlfriends. We lost everything, you know?
Yeah, man.
All we did was partied and tattooed, man, had the time of our lives.
Yeah.
And my whole career's been that way, you know? Like, this last couple years been a lot more relaxed, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I never partied like tattooing and shit like that, you know?
Right.
Just like after work was just a big party all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Always good.
That's kind of good though, because I feel like you see your artwork too. If you ever step back and be like, I gotta fine tune it.
I don't feel like I even started getting good at tattooing until about 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah, I think I just tattooed off of pure confidence. You know, like people talked to me and they believed I knew what I was doing. You know?
Right.
And then about 10 years ago, I feel like I had like a little pick, like when I started getting a little bit better, you know?
Yeah.
Because now with Instagram, people could see what good tattoos look like.
Right.
You know, like
expose all this stuff.
Somebody who's never been tattooed knows now what a good tattoo looks like.
Yeah.
You know, so now like a portfolio is just not going to do it no more. You got to get out there, you know, like you got to actually be good at tattooing to stay busy.
Yeah. At your 92 proof, the first one in Fresno, how big was that?
There's 12 of us probably.
Okay.
We had 3 piercers, probably 8 or 9 tattoo artists, but I was always firing people. So people were in it.
Yeah, it's it. I remember that
5 and sometimes there'd be 10, you know?
I remember back in like shops too, there was a big turnover of.
If you weren't willing to put in 50 hours, you were out, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I changed. I'm not like that no more, but back then it was like, you got to work. That's what we do around here, you know? Anything to take serious, you got to put in hours for you.
Right.
And like I said, we're 1-to-1, you know? We only get paid if we're tattooing.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, because you have to like think about if you gain whatever you gain or whatever, like if you put it on a scale, like all the wins and losses doing tattooing.
You just can't say you take something serious if you're not willing to put in. I just feel like 50 hours is a minimum work week.
Right.
Like that's just, you know, even when I was doing the illegal shit, I did a lot of it, you know, like it wasn't like part-time for me either, you know. I don't put in that many hours no more. It's still full-time. That's still 40, 50 hour weeks, but it's not, I'm not getting up to 70 now, you know.
Right.
Like I'm keeping my days below 10 hours, 8 hours, you know.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I'll feel like doing an evening appointment and stay late again, you know.
Yeah.
Getting old and tired, you know.
Right. But not only with turnarounds is that was a common thing. You have fallouts, and then it's like, how are you supposed to break that down to someone? Back in the day, they just kick your stuff would be outside.
We were fighting or
right.
kicking, you know, we've been a lot of fist fights in the shop.
Yeah. So how'd you build it? How's your crew right now?
It's cool.
Yeah. How did you build that crew?
We got just those guys, you know. Bobby's been with me a long time.
Yeah.
Randy, I apprenticed, been with me a long time. Billy's another artist at my shop. He's been there 4 or 5 years, and Danny's been 4 or 5 years, you know.
Yeah. Pretty sure they seen your change, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So they probably like all trip out.
Yeah. I'm a lot calmer now than I used to be.
I mean, that's good though. So like the burning the bridges, right? So like coming up on tattooing where you are to start beefing with certain people, or you hear whatever, like certain people don't like me and I don't know why.
I know why people don't like me if they don't like me, you know. Like,
right. Okay. So it's like you kind of like.
If I hear somebody say they don't like me, it's usually probably an offensive Instagram post.
Oh, sure.
Or, you know, like.
Well, it's kind of like, that's what you're like, yo,
you know?
I have my own humor. And if you don't like it, you don't have to follow it.
For sure. I benefit more than I lose, you know?
Yeah.
Because more people are laughing than are crying about post, you know?
Right.
They're just not, oh, I love David Towers' post. The people that are offended by it are the ones talking about it, crying about it. You know?
So is that where your name come from for the other? Because you have 2 Instagrams, right?
Yeah,
you have
David Towers.
Yeah.
That came from, I pissed off the BLM movement.
Oh.
You know, and they were like posting all over the internet, all this. Well, somebody spray painted my trash can, fuck David Towers.
Oh, wow.
So I took a picture of it, made shirts and stickers.
Yeah, I'll have a sticker on the slideshow so you can see that.
David Towers, you know.
Yeah, like, you committed to that whole thing, dude.
Made money off of it, you know. I made a bunch of fucking money off of it, you know.
That's funny, dude. I was like, I love how you.
I never found out who did it, but fuck, they're probably.
What caused it? What did you like? I mean, it's like one of those things.
I pissed off the BLM guys, which wasn't very hard. You know, like all you had to do was disagree with them, and now you're racist.
It was a disagreement of something,
and like and you know, I'm not one to back down. You know, they're threatening to protest the shop and riot and blah blah. And I'm like, come on, let's do it. And I'm posting more shit to piss them off. More shit. Nothing ever came of it. I didn't lose any business.
Right.
You know, like it was all over. And you know, like they were posting on they were trying to run my Yelp down, you know, and then
flagging
Yelp just blocked them. They did absolutely nothing, you know, but like I benefited from it.
Yeah. Cause you had the 92 proof thing, and then I saw you had like the personal one, but then I was looking at it, I was like, it's just all goofing. It's like
I like posting memes. I like
all the meme stuff, or like the stuff about like you'll like compare it to like, oh, somebody says this about David Tower, and it's like third person.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
I embrace it all, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I like hearing that.
I love that because like you also mentioned about, you know, don't worry about what people saying or whatever the case. It's like, you know, just stick to your own. And so do you also
I feed off of it though. Like when I hear people get upset, you know, I've calmed down a lot with the guys at the shop, because they stood, even though all this was going on, like when I pissed off the BLM guys, it went on for like 3 months, you know, like people just nonstop like posting about the shop, and the guys at the shop were getting bashed on for working with me.
Yeah.
Like, how can you work with a guy that's racist?
Kind of like
everybody's like, I work with this guy every day. He's not fucking racist.
Right.
You know, he's just an asshole. He posts funny shit. And then, but they all stood by me through it all.
Yeah.
You know, so at the tail end of it, when it calmed down, I'd be like, man, I'm bored right now. I need to post something. All the guys are like, no. You know, like, you know, like, I'm like, man, everything's calmed down. Man, I need to get this fired up again. And all the guys at the shop are like, no. Cause they all got, you know, they all got the backlash of it too and stuff by me. So now I don't do any of it, you know, like before I post something, I'll be like, maybe I shouldn't post this. You know, like, when I'll run it by Bobby, I'll be like, what do you think of this? And Bobby's like, no,
yo,
don't post that.
Dude, I must say, man, Bobby's
my humor's dark, you know, very
Bobby's
dark.
like such a solid dude. Like, again, coming from like the propaganda or stereotypes, right? I'm thinking Bobby's got to have this wild, like, and then we're talking to him like,
nah, he's calm.
You're so chill, bro. I was like, where's all the wild at all, I was trying to like break him, dude.
Yeah, I was like, you don't have nothing wild going on.
Which is cool, you know.
HR department,
your filter. Yeah, he's like,
I'm like, should I post this? And he's like, nah, don't.
He's the approval and the
So I keep my
your publicist
now at like I keep them from where they're not gonna go viral and piss everybody off.
You guys had like art nights or anything like that you kind of helped people?
For years I did like food drives and shit, you know, because I like kind of like when I started getting popular on Instagram and shit, I'm like, man, I should turn this into something good, kind of like,
right,
you know, like more of like, it's kind of selfish,
giving back,
because it makes you feel good about yourself,
right,
you know? And like I saw so much saw so much negative shit. I'm like, I need to do something good. And I did food drives for like probably like 10 years and I don't do them no more, but there's stuff like that. But I never did art nights or any of that shit. I'm not really like an artsy type guy, man.
That's what you meant. You're like, I'm not like about artsy, which
I'm just not like,
but I feel it. It's hard unless you got guys around you that are all gonna like almost how you got forced to do black and gray. That one piece.
Yeah.
They literally have to force you to be like, tonight we're going to paint Flash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be like, all right.
It was never like that. Like, that's what I was saying. I never went to apprenticeship. I wasn't forced to do anything.
Right.
And then I don't force my guys to do anything, you know, like when I was apprenticing them, I never forced them to draw. I'd force them to stencil, you know, like I'd draw a bunch of squiggly lines. Yeah. Squiggly lines on paper and then tell them I want to stencil the whole thing just to get that strength in their hands. Yeah. Figure out how to follow some lines and bring the points to a sharp point. And then I'd hold it up to the light and tell them to do it again. You know, that was like the extent of it, you know. And like Bobby, he had John around. I don't know where he was from, but him and his wife were wanting to move to California, and a girl that worked at my shop at the time, who I ended up firing, she was like, oh, my friends want to come here, they got a spot for him. I'm like, oh yeah, because John was super dope at tattooing, you know, and he was there for a while. He's got some
crazy work, color work.
They didn't like the valley that much, you know. It didn't grow on him, so they moved.
Where did he go to? He moved.
He's in like Oregon somewhere. Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen him since he moved away. We talk on Instagram and shit. Sure. But Bobby was around him a lot too at the shop, and he was more of the artsy type guy, you know, like he drew a lot and everything was like spiritual and art and shit like that. Yeah. So Bobby got him, but I didn't. That's not me, you know.
So some people would be like, "What do you mean you're not artsy?"
Yeah, just
right, because everybody expects us to be like mural painters.
I don't look at fucking art, and I'm like, "That's beautiful." You know?
You'll like, appreciate it.
I see something like this sick.
You're doing this all day too, and you're maybe like, you know, I need another hobby. I need another distraction.
Yeah, I've never watercolored. I tried it once. I suck at spray painting. I actually tried recently with Billy. Billy did my garage. Yeah, fuck, this sucked. I could draw, like I could take pencils and draw just about anything. Sure. Realistic, but that's, you know, like from my background. You know.
Industry inks have been around for a while, and recently they expanded their pigment range. Everything from your primary colors, opaque grays, brand new anime skin tone, bright neon fluorescent tones, gray wash set, and black lining ink. If you haven't yet tried out this high quality pigment, head on over to industryinks.com. And with your order, you can take advantage of a special promo code using OUTLOUD for an exclusive discount. Try out their new range for yourself, and thanks again for the partnered sponsorship.
Now, somebody's that approach you about like the whole like apprenticeship, or like, you guys have an apprentice right now or no?
No.
Okay. Or would you allow one of the other guys to run an apprentice if they wanted to?
They could if they were willing to invest the time. You know?
Invest the time, right?
Like, you know, like Bobby and Billy are the only ones that are there full time.
Yeah.
You know, and Billy, I know Billy's not interested in an apprentice. You know, I asked him. One girl asked one time, but I have homies that come by all the time, and they're like other tattoo artists from like other shops. So come by and sit with me, and I'll show them stuff. You know. Yeah. And then I do that a lot. I get a lot of young tattoo artists that come in and hang out with me. Right. But I don't want to take on a full apprentice. You know.
What's your thought on that? When a young artist comes in, like, in the present time, and they're like, hey, I kind of want to get into this, and do you ever think like the things that you've gone through from the beginning, like you just said, like the wild times?
I put anybody who wants knowledge, I'll put it on them.
Yeah, you never like you never try to stray them away.
No, okay, never, I get a bunch of tattoo artists that come in weekly and hang out with me and try to teach them whatever I can. You know, that's how I learn. You know, I had guys that were really good that never kept secrets from me. You know, they tell me everything I wanted to know. It's like putting people on, man. I like it. I like helping people out.
Yeah, that's a very selfless thing too. You, like you mentioned, like aside of the food drives, I mean, you're like, somebody wants to come out and learn, like, it's like me inviting you to come out here too and being like, yo, anytime you want to come and work too, just come hang out, you know? I was telling Bobby that too. I love that camaraderie thing of us being like the community side of it.
Yeah.
Even though it's hard, you know, at times when the fallouts were very common.
Yeah, I had a lot of fallouts.
Right.
But I was a knucklehead back in the day. I'm a lot more patient now. Like,
patience.
I've learned to control my temper a lot now.
Yeah.
I just, if I start getting like, my nerves get racked up or something, I just walk away or just keep it to myself. But back in the day, it's a snap.
Right.
So I got rid of a lot of guys. Yeah, I had a big, heavy turnover rate.
So you're more aware, obviously, of your surroundings too, right? Like of the guys of your environment versus you're obviously not going to put yourself in a position to have.
Yeah. I know what bothers me, and I just stay away from it.
Sure.
I'm real short tempered, you know.
Part of the cleanup process when you're purging your life, right? Because you had to like purge all that,
I did,
right?
man.
Right.
Yeah, I had to.
Was there like did you have to do anything severe, like, or was it like you yourself?
I told myself when I stopped drinking,
that
I wasn't gonna be that guy that disappeared. Like I was still gonna hang out with my homies and all that shit. First thing I did was disappeared, you know, because now that I'm not drinking or partying, I'm like, I went and tried to hang out with them, and I'm like, fuck, this is boring, you know.
This is weird,
like, you know, they're fucking rambling, and talking, and I'm like, fuck, I just want to go home, you know. Like I like sitting on my couch now a lot.
Yeah,
go to the gym a lot, and sit on my couch, and
that's good. So you're obviously going back to like the health kick.
Yeah.
You're like,
I've always worked out. You know what I mean? Like I've always did maintenance on my body, just because that's what keeps us tattooing.
Right,
you know?
we're hunched over all the time.
Stretch and build our bodies, but I work out a lot more now.
Yeah,
I fucking hate working out. I only do it because I have to.
It's a good thing to keep you sharp too. Yeah, especially we're hunched, keep our back strong.
And I fucking hate the gym. I hate working out.
Right,
but I do it every day just because it's maintenance. You know.
Yeah. I was curious where the 92 proof came from. Where was that name?
So I had a bad falling out with my partner at Sick Boy. Opened up another shop, and for about 3 months there was no name. You know, we just tattooed there. Back then you could. There was it was Fresno, and there was by then probably 10 tattoo shops total.
It was small.
Yeah, it was like 10. And then I used to drink Sailor Jerry spiced rum. Right. That's why I drank that.
I was wondering if it was related to like
it was.
Okay.
And then I'm sitting there, and it's like 3 months into no name on the it just said tattoo in front of the shop, no name. It didn't matter back then. You know, it just fucking.
You just wanted a flag tattoo.
It was different back then. You didn't need a name.
Right.
And I was sitting there and I saw the 92 proof. And back then, everybody used the yellow pages.
Right.
And if you had a number in your name, you were first in the yellow pages.
That's right.
So I was like, 92 proof, that's sick. I'll just do that.
Strategy.
Just ran with it. That was
strategy though.
That was literally it, bro. Just a drunk night. I saw it on the bottle, and I'm like, damn, that'd be tight.
Because it stuck.
Yeah, it stuck. Yeah. And I love Sailor Jerry, and I used to, I don't so much now, but I used to love that like old school, like that style tattoo. And I never tattooed or anything. I just liked it. Like I had posters in my garage and shit of it.
Yeah.
And Sailor Jerry, obviously, is like a
iconic
tattoo artist member, you know.
Right.
And so it just fit, you know. And I was first in the phone book, you know. So
see, I was curious if I had to do something with like, you know how they say like 92 proof as if like the alcohol, like 92.
That was what I drank back then, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't drink like Jose Cuervo or something.
Right. 100% agave or something. Yeah, some wild like, and then you come in, it's a white boy. It's like
But that was it. And just because it was first in the phone book and it's catchy, you know, like you can remember it easy. And I was the only shop probably in the valley with a number in my name.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably still am. Besides, my homie has a shop called 07 Ink Lounge.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure other than that, you know, there's no other number names in the shop.
You mentioned earlier that every year you go take X amount of days to yourself and then the fam, whatever.
I travel a lot. I like to travel.
Yeah. So like, where have you like gone that really kind of gets you to like spread out, take a deep breath, kind of like.
I've been to 22 countries now.
Oh, wow.
I've been all over. I love Costa Rica.
Yeah.
I bought some property down there. I love it down there. I like Puerto Rico a lot.
Puerto Rico's cool.
Yeah. I liked all of Europe except for Belgium. I fucking hated Belgium.
What happened in Belgium?
They're so fucking. They're a socialist country, man. They're fucking miserable.
Yeah.
You know? So they don't talk to you. You know, and me being an American, they wouldn't let me book a hotel room. I was supposed to be there for 2 days. I jumped on a train after like 6 hours and went to Germany.
That, huh?
Yeah.
Straight to Germany?
Yeah, I love Scotland.
Did you tattoo out there also?
Hell no.
No, it was all just your own experience.
I landed in Amsterdam and took 11-day train ride, you know? Wow. And then I flew to Scotland and then back here. And been to Mexico a lot. I love it down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going next month. I'm going to Mexico again.
Yeah.
And then I went to Cuba last year. And then I've been all over.
That was Cuba. Cuba's
It's all right, man, but it's a socialist country too.
Right.
And it makes you, it's sad more than anything, you know, like that's socialism.
You see a whole different.
Yeah. Like, I'm not like a political person, but I know what socialism is.
Right.
It's pretty bad down there. I had to buy toothpaste off the black market. Can't walk into a store and buy toothpaste. I had to like get it from down an alley, you know. I love old classic cars, and they still
Cuba's
drive old classic cars.
They have a bunch out there.
Yeah. So
is that just because a lot of them were getting exported?
It's because, you know, when they joined with Soviet Union, they got cut off from almost the whole world.
Right.
You know, so, and cars come from everywhere else in the world besides Cuba, you know.
Right.
So, they just got stuck with what they had,
sure.
You know, and they work on it. You know, they put diesel motors and everything. So you see all these like 57 Chevys, these cars that look like 57 Chevys, but they're some kind of Russian car.
Yeah.
And they put diesel motors in, 300 diesel motors. And I just always saw those pictures of Cuba with all the classic cars everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was just like that.
That's crazy.
But the problem is they've only allowed people from other countries to visit like 3 years ago. So it's not really set up for tourism.
Sure.
So like it's hard to
you're
navigate around.
Raw, like living.
It's hard to navigate
day-to-day.
around.
Yeah.
But like I went down there, I rode in a Cadillacs and shit like that. They don't have parties, they don't have nightclubs, shit like that, you know. They're strict on drugs over there. There's no drug addicts there. Now they'll put you in a firing squad.
Oh, let's just fire you up.
So like Pablo Escobar days, that was like a stopping point. If you're selling drugs there, automatic death squad or firing squad. And then if you get caught with drugs, even just for personal use, 30 years in prison.
That's
so
crazy.
Nobody does drugs there. They're all alcoholics there. Not all of them, but I mean, they're like homeless or alcoholics.
Right. So it's like less chances that you see a lot of that.
But it's cool. It's beautiful. Everybody's a lot of people walking everywhere. You know, they get around that way.
Yeah.
But they don't have a lot, so everything's like preserved. Everything's well taken care of. There's no litter, there's no trash, no broken windows.
Out here we're like dealing with waste.
Yeah, because we can break our shit and go to Home Depot and fix it, or hire some guy. They don't have that, you know.
Right out there, they have to like that's like survival.
Yeah, so you see socialism real bad there.
That's wild, dude.
It's not good, but it's pretty cool because they got all the casinos out there. So the mob called it Little Las Vegas there. Oh. And the mob went out there and opened up all these huge casinos. Now they're like hotels and apartments and shit, but they still have all that like Italian mafia stuff there. And it's real cool.
It seems really interesting. What they left behind too. Like you could see all what they built.
Yeah.
And it's almost like play money and they're like washing money and stuff.
Because they went there. I don't know the whole story why they went there, but they called it Little Las Vegas. That's pretty cool. You see that like mob history there.
Right. So we mentioned you like the toys, so you take the time to go out and ride like the razors and stuff, right?
Yeah, we go camping at the desert a lot.
Camping.
We just did last week and blew my razor up, and then I got a bunch of classic cars and quads and shit.
Going forward, you're kind of
I'm getting old, man. My body hurts. I wasn't supposed to live this long. If I knew I was going to live this long, I'd have took better care of myself.
I was going to ask you what you think your time is, like, as far as like.
I was not planning on living this long.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Now I want to because I got kids and shit, but it was never the plan. That's why it's so rough on myself, you know?
Yeah.
Drugs, drinking, partying, late nights, all that. If I knew I was going to live this long, I'd have took so much better care of myself.
You're feeling the repercussions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my body hurts.
Because you started at 14, man. Wish I would have started that early, but at the same time, I don't know if I would have wanted to because of...
Well, fuck, I was in youth authority, man. We didn't have nothing else to do, you know?
Right.
Just sharpen some staples, tie some string to it, and, you know, pick some gang stuff into it.
Yeah, go to town. Then you go there and you see all this accomplishment and the things that you've done and all around a self-taught.
All around, yeah. I wish I could say self-taught, but I've asked a lot of questions.
Right,
and had a lot of
for the
people
most
give
part,
me
like,
answers, you know?
Like you fell into it, I guess.
Yeah, like
which is pretty wild.
You know, like Mikey Hernandez, he helped me a fucking ton, man. Hit that little time frame right there. His shop was like the turning point in my career. Sure. You know, like I was just doing it, making a bunch of money, but when I got to his shop and got around those guys, you know, and these are all like the East LA guys that I've fucking just seen all over the tattoo magazines, you know, like I worked with Chente Rios at Under the Gun and Tattoo Louie and Mikey Hernandez and Tommy Montoya, and all these cats are just in and out of the shop all day long and patting me on the back, and they're like, damn, that shit's wet, my boy, you know. You know, it was the time of my life I had down there, man, and that was like the turning point in my career, and that's when I started doing Black and Gray. You know, because of them. And I still use their same drop method they taught me. And like, you know, so not self-taught, more like just, I had a lot of people answer a lot of questions, you know?
Right. You dove into this life though, like the youth authority and like getting exposed to it. And then you jumping into seeing where it evolved and expanded. That's what I think is like crazy. You know, it's like you know, who would ever thought and who would ever
knew there was a lot of money in it.
Right.
I was thinking about money from the, you know,
the grind, the hustle.
I would have never got here if there's no money in it. You know, I would have did something else with money, you know?
Yeah. Probably go blue collar side or something.
Man. Yeah. That's something.
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
And then
too late now.
Right. You're like, no, I got to write it out.
Now. I gotta keep going.
So that was a big turning point for you to get exposed to that and inspired, right? You got inspired to see all these guys that are.
Yeah, it's just more like cool, you know? It's cool shit. We'd tattoo all day and then go to the strip club and like, they became friends. I ended up like sleeping on Mikey's couch I was supposed to only go down for 2 days and I stayed for 3 months, you know?
Dang.
I didn't even come back to my own shop for like 3 months because I was just down there making money and tattooing. And, you know, he knew everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they were inviting me to do tattoo conventions with them. And like, I was going down to TJ with them on the weekends.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. After Mikey passed away, I tried to stay down there. Like I went and tattooed it under the gun for a little while.
Yeah.
And then, at Cocapelli's in Southgate.
Oh yeah.
And then, it just wasn't the same. Came back here, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Probably around 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm real bad with dates, man. Everything's 5 years ago to me.
Yeah, right.
But probably about 15 years ago.
Well, it just shows
for
you
like
that
3 years, 4 years.
in a blink of an eye, you turn around and you're already like, oh, I've been set here at 6 years or whatever, or 7 years or 8 years. And you're like, it just passes because it's hard for us to think of that time.
Yeah.
We're just kind of running with that's
at the shop, I moved my shop to where it's at now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told somebody the other day, 3 years. And Bobby's like, well, it's been 7 years.
It's been 7. You've been saying 3 years for the last 8 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
and I'm like, nah, fuck, no way. And fucking Bobby's ass for some reason can always go through his phone and find something that tells the date.
Right.
And he's like, oh, here's a grand opening day. I'm like, oh, fuck.
When you had the one in Lemoore, was that also, what was the calling to go there? Like what made you?
I just wanted to get out of Fresno.
Okay.
Fresno, when I opened up in Fresno, there was 10 tattoo shops.
Sure.
By the time I left, there was like fucking 200.
Yeah.
You know, and who's trying to be the fucking king of shit hill, you know? I met Ron Earnhardt.
Okay.
The way I met him was I knew who he was. You know, dude, I knew who he was forever. I knew he was from Fresno, but I didn't realize my shop was where his first shop was.
Oh, wow.
So where Acne Tattoo was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, I opened up a shop there, you know, and I didn't know that. Well, he walked in the shop and we sat down for like 2 hours talking. You know, I was like, why'd you move away? And he told me the same thing. He's like, who wants to be the king of shit hill? You know, I don't want to bid on shit and I don't want to fight. And
yeah, you know what it reminds me? Like contractors go to these building site and they're all bidding for that
exactly
work.
And that's how and it was a lot worse back then. You know,
right.
Back then there was no like I never even heard the word full day tattoo session. There was people doing $10 tattoos, $20 tattoos, and it was like so fucking.
I remember minimums were like $40-$30.
Yeah.
At one point I heard a minimum was like a $30 or $40 banger.
Yeah.
I think Lurk and I were talking about that, and he's like, nowadays you can't get me to set up my stuff for less than like the 100, whatever.
Like that. I'll still do a $50 tattoo, but like I'm not gonna do a $50 tattoo because somebody told him 100.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's worth $50, I'm gonna charge $50. I tell people, and the guys at the shop, they come into the shop and they want a $75 tattoo, charge them $75. You know, and then if our minimum's twice as much as everybody else, we get half the business.
Right.
You know, but once they're in the shop, they're going to get done, whether it's $75 or $100, you know?
The same with barbers.
The one thing I've for sure taught the guys at the shop is or at least Bobby and charging. You know?
Yeah.
Like you got to charge accordingly.
Right,
you know?
right.
We're not the most expensive shop around, you know, like we're just. Like,
but also value
right down the middle. Down the middle. We make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we don't rip anybody off. And that's just how it is, you know?
Yeah,
I see it. I don't want to start saying numbers because because friends of mine are like charging outrageous amount of money, and I'm like, how the fuck does he feel right about that? You know, like,
I know across the board,
I feel good about my prices. I never feel like I ripped somebody off. You know?
Right, and I mean, your clientele, you've built this since X amount of years.
I have a good client.
And these guys are all sticking with you since day one, where you're booked out for the year, and you're like, I don't
do that shit no more.
Yeah, so I was curious about that.
I only book myself up a month.
Okay,
that's it. Because
it's easier to manage.
Because I put in, I grind so much. You know, eventually I start burning myself out.
Right,
and then I'm like, a long time ago, I used to book myself out for like a year, and then I'd start feeling burnout. I'm like, man, I need a vacation. And I'm looking at my schedule. I'm like, fuck, I can't take a vacation for a year. So now I keep myself about a month out, and then like solid a month, and then scattered for a couple months, like 2 a week for a few months after that. And then when the time gets closer, I start filling in those gaps, you know, because I every day I have people booking with me. So it's not like as long as I got a tattoo to do tomorrow, I make the same amount of money as like do if I got a year's worth of clientele. It don't matter.
Yeah.
As long as I tattoo every day, I'm working every day, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Who taught you the business? Because we have to figure it out.
I just
on our
accumulated
own.
myself.
Yeah, we have to figure it out, right?
And I made a lot of mistakes when it comes to that shit. Double booking.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking, you know, like telling two people come at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, that was a fucking big learning experience for me.
Right.
That took a long time. Now I got it down packed.
Right.
I know how long a tattoo is going to take.
Yeah.
And I'll get it done in that amount of time without rushing. And I space myself out and like, I got that part figured out.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from. I just figured it out, you know?
Right. That's the thing. You found your own little like
the
method.
Booking shit,
that.
I made a lot of mistakes in that.
Yeah.
You look at my Yelp reviews, fucking Google reviews 10 years ago, it's all fucking 1 star. He double booked me. You know, I had to figure that shit out a long time ago.
Yeah, this was hard lessons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
5 stars now. So.
Yeah, let's go 5 stars off.
Let's just not look back 10 years ago.
Yeah. That's something you had to figure out. And plus life, man. Life hits.
Yeah. Now I need to space them out.
Right.
I keep myself at a month solid. That's it. So
it's nice to have like where we are now, where we can have the time off that we want to take, and I'm just saying I don't like to book too crazy ahead, and
I used to do that, and it's fucking horrible.
It's hard because how can you call it from here to July? Like what's going on?
Then something happens, and then
so you forget. It's easy to forget. Also,
if I get sick tomorrow, I got to tell my client tomorrow.
You push all that
at 1 month, you know, back when you're booked out for a year, you're like, fuck, now you're out for a year because I don't have no other openings. I don't do that shit no more. I learned that lesson the hard way a lot of times.
Yeah. I know those people also, they have like maybe somebody managing all that, but that would even be hard. I don't know about you. Like
I answer my own phone calls. I book my own appointments.
That's what I said too. I like to know where the money's going and I know where it's at.
I still answer every phone call for the shop.
And I like to know who I have when.
I'm the messaging service for the whole fucking tattoo shop.
So if you DM, there's no
and I'm real big on like the talking polite to people when they or Instagram and shit like that. So I just do it all, you know.
Yeah.
I make sure I'm the one they're talking to.
Yeah, because you have to take care of that yourself.
And I don't have a personal phone. I only have the shop's phone.
Right.
So like every time my phone rings.
That's very old school too.
Yeah.
That's old school too.
My cell phone is the one on Yelp and Google and Instagram and shit. So when it rings, most likely it's somebody, you know, answer 92 Pro.
When you were also like going through, I recently seen, I know you sent me this, the picture of this tattoo removal process. How much have you got done? For and why? Like, what were you trying to get? And
because I just had all kinds of stupid fucking prison shit all over my face, you know, and I hated it. So my whole forehead used to be solid. I had it removed, like all this shit on my cheek. My throat was done really good, but it was so bright that I hated it.
Okay, it just stood out.
I've had it was just like a fucking cartoon on my throat,
a shiny diamond.
So I'm having it lasered off right now. That's what I worked on yesterday.
How was it?
Light enough that I could go black and gray with it.
Okay,
I want to get so. I'm on like
it looks like a lot of it is already
all broken up. Like,
it's already like transparent.
It takes away certain colors first and shit. So I was going to my whole face was lasered off by Natalie Quintana. She's in Arcadia, which was another cool thing because her husband is Johnny Quintana.
Oh yeah, Johnny Quintana,
OG tattoo artist, you know. And I ended up making friends with him. Got tattooed by him. Fucking coolest guy ever met in my life, bro.
Yeah,
he's so fucking cool. I spent a whole day getting tattooed by him. And then at the end of the day, refused to charge me, gave me my first Bishop rotary. He's the one that put me on Bishops, you know, and like refused money. I had to slide money under his doormat when I left and text him and say there's like an $800 on their door.
Yeah,
but he's, so that whole that shop's real cool over there, man.
Yeah.
Natalie did my face. She started my throat, you know, she started the first laser treatments on my throat. She did my knuckles. Yeah. You know, shit like that.
What about your, like, so how many sessions have you got? So like the recent is this stuff, right?
Yeah. Yesterday I got another session on here.
Yeah.
On my her name is Brittany Dugan. She's at Uncover tattoo removal. That's it.
All right. So it's Uncover tattoo laser removal downtown Hanford. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So then you're look at that setup.
Yeah,
that's
she's
nice
got a badass
rig,
setup, and she's a nurse, so she knows her shit, you know.
Yeah,
and then she opened up her little private studio. It's upstairs above the old Fatty Alberts in Hanford.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be going back weekly.
All right.
To get it done.
I'm getting all this removed, but the same thing when I got it done, I was a lot younger and
it hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. I try to explain to people that it's like smack rubber band, like.
Yeah. I started with the numbing cream now, and I don't feel it at all.
Yeah, see, I never done the numbing cream.
I did. My first couple on my face, I was like with no numbing cream. And then
makes it tear up.
Yeah, fuck.
This is like 5 sessions, and it looks like this. You know, I maybe have, and it's nothing against the homie that did it. It's just that
it takes a while.
It's the image,
and it depends on what kind of ink they use.
Yeah,
too.
and but to clean up the profile too. Like I wanted to like clean up. I guess, I don't know.
I'll get off your face. I'm the opposite. I still want my whole face tattooed.
Yeah.
I just didn't want what I had. You know?
Yeah. I feel like I was like, I don't know, something that you kind of fall off of it and you're like, maybe I'm not into the.
Yeah. When I had first got out, I was like, I don't want to look like a convict. I want color. So I like did color on my neck, color on my hands. So I could wear just a long sleeve shirt and look like regular, you know,
just like
cops weren't fucking with me because I had color tattoos, not black and gray.
Yeah.
And then, but now it don't matter. You know, now they fucked with me all they want. And, but this was just so fucking bright. I'd seen it in pictures, and it just looked like a cartoon on my throat.
Stuck out. Yeah. I think that's what it was too. I saw a picture of myself, and I was like, I don't know if I like that.
So I'm gonna get it lightened up just enough to make it black.
Yeah.
And
what about when you first started in the industry? What would you say as far as like what you wish somebody would have showed you? Let's think of the times, right? You hear about your past, about like how you were, like your surroundings, your environment. Yeah. What you would have wished somebody, if you would have met yourself later, obviously, and you're like, somebody comes in, they're like, you know, they want to learn and you want to put them on game. What you wish that somebody would have like told you when you first started? Like, hey, maybe the warning or give you some pointers, give you some.
Invest in Bishop Rotary.
Invest in Bishop. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't think of nothing.
Yeah. You kind of come up and we're on that track, that fast.
That was
a fast track.
As far as the tattooing goes, I feel like everything's exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the work ethic and the type of people that are in tattooing now is different.
And you said it, you put in the hours, you hung in there, right? You're like
always just been fucking locked in, bro.
Right.
I love it. You know, I love tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, so I start getting fucking like to a point where I'm like burn out.
Yeah.
Take a few days off and I feel like I can't wait to get back to it. You know?
Right. You get that
I force myself to take days off now, you know, like starting next month I'm changing my days off.
Okay.
I've always took Sundays off, but now I'm gonna take Sundays and Tuesdays off.
Okay, give that a little bit of a bridge.
Yeah, because my two brothers, they own Fresno Tattoo and that's their days off. So like that way I can hang out with them, you know.
Yeah.
I always miss out on a lot of shit because we like to boat and stuff like that.
Right.
But so I'm going to take, those are my new days off. I've never did that before.
Yeah. There's a point in time where you're working almost every day, but not all day like it used to be.
Yeah.
Like you'll just work maybe 4 hours and take the rest of your day off.
Sometimes I'll do that.
Right.
Yeah,
that seems nice. Like, a little balance.
Yeah. Like I break it up now to like, I'll book an evening appointment one day a week.
Yeah.
So I can either be there by myself or like if I have some shit at the DMV I got to get done, I could get it done, you know?
Right.
But I've just kind of figured it out, you know? So just kind of worked out now.
Find the balance that works for you.
Yeah.
And you're
you know what I was thinking about? I got a funny ass story about Chris Lurks.
Oh, yeah.
So when we were tattooing, I was tattooing the chief of police, okay? And his son, okay? And me and Chris used to share a little tattoo station that was like just big enough for 2 tattoo tables. The old school ones that lay out could be next to each other.
Yeah.
And he's tattooing this like little blonde girl. And I'm tattooing the chief of police and his son.
All right.
Okay. And this girl's screaming and crying, you know, like, and he's holding her down tattooing. And he looks at the chief of police and he goes, you know what I love about my job? And the chief of police says, what? And he goes, I can hold little screaming white girls down and not get in trouble for it. Fuck. Every time I talk about Chris, I think about that fucking story, man.
That guy is funny, man.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
I'd love to get all of us together, bro.
I haven't seen Chris since we've been sober.
Really?
No.
He's pushing hard that sober life, bro.
Yeah.
I love like the fact that he calls me up, man. I think it was like Christmas Eve. He gave me a call. He was in Arizona because he's moving.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I think he's gonna open up his own spot over there, or he's gonna work at another homie shop. But he's moving, so he's kind of just collecting his last bit of time out here.
Yeah.
And he called me up and he's like, hey man, especially when he hit like another year, like his sober mark, he'll call me, you know. But to know it's a very powerful thing, and it's very like uplifting and liberating to know that it's mind over matter. And the reason why I asked you what you did to like purge and clean, because I've been around it.
I didn't do anything, bro.
It was just yourself.
Said I was done and was done.
Exactly. That's like willpower.
Yeah.
That's that mindset.
I just didn't want to, bro. Like I didn't quit for any other reason because I just didn't feel like it no more.
Yeah.
And then just didn't no more.
Right. Know? The lens of David at the times of like all this crazy time frames, dude.
There, bro. We were fighting and tattooing and drinking.
But the history, like like you said, things are the same, but
yeah, tattooing is the same. Nothing's really changed.
it's the same.
It's got easier to access equipment.
Yeah, and you're working smarter.
I fucking love rotaries, you know.
Yeah.
But fuck, I started with rotaries. You know, I started with a homemade tattoo machine. That's a rotary machine.
Right.
So like nothing's really changed. You know,
Everything you're taking
just
on.
the environment's different, man. I still hold on to the old school shit. You know, like I still.
That's
in
what
my
I'm saying.
head. I'm still in the industry I loved. You know.
Yeah.
Because I fucking hate it now. Like I don't. It's just different, man. I don't like seeing these fucking people's posts. I don't like hearing the people crying, and I just don't care about none of it.
Because you rather post memes than tattoos.
That's why I do it, man. Because there's like fuck, like there's nobody to bring up anymore because I don't respect the people that are like you know, like it's. I don't even have a way to explain it. I just
yeah, no, I get it.
No, it's soft, and the way my personality and the way that I am, there's no way these new type of tattoo artists can handle me. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna cry over about fucking anything, you know?
It's kind of like one of those you gotta know you to know and to understand.
Yeah,
like
I'm a hard guy to be around because I just talk different, you know?
Right.
Especially at the shop when I get comfortable around people, I'm like,
yeah.
You know, like shit, that's why I told you before I came here, if I say something bad, you got to edit it out because shit'll just come out of my mouth sometimes.
I mean,
and I'm like,
obviously, like, dude, like,
try to keep it professional.
My thing is to know you as far as your mindset, where you're at, just to come up and, you know, it's the grind, dude. Because I mean, you hit everything with a mark as far as like what it's about.
Shit, back when we started, man, you had to grind. That was it. That was all there was, you know, because no Instagram, no Facebook posts, no fucking boosting no MySpace, paying to boost your Instagram, no following people, none of that shit, man. It was literally just fucking getting your name out there. You know, you had to fucking put your name in people's
lock down your area.
Yeah, every time we went to the bar, everybody in that fucking bar had a business card. You know what I mean? Like, and some people were like, "Bro, you gave me one fucking 3 years ago. Take this one too.
Take it again. Take it again. Give it to somebody else. Yeah, pay for it.
That's how it is, man. I still do it. You know, I still carry around business cards and put stickers everywhere. I don't do the flyering that much anymore. Every once in a while, I'll be like,
you legit had a flyer, huh? Like it was like a legit like
paper fucking
like an event flyer.
Yeah, exactly.
A brochure.
And I just fucking put them on everybody's windshield.
Yeah,
thousands and thousands of flyers. Man.
It paid off though, man. That was paving the way.
People came in, you know, and like, and we draw some little bullshit on there, like fucking sparrow or something, and put tattoo, and I would like change the name of the shop sometimes on the flyer. So they thought it was a different shop. Like I'd put
duping people.
I did flyers for years. Like I'd do flyers for years. I said Hanford Tattoo.
Oh wow!
And then they think, oh, it's a different shop. You
That's
know,
a good one. Dude. That's a good strategy.
You know, and I couldn't do Fresno Tattoo because my homeboy's got a Fresno Tattoo. You know, but like I would change the name sometimes or just do shit, put tattoos so they didn't know where the fuck it was. They would just have to go to the Instagram and all kinds of shit, man. I did it all, you know.
Bobby mentioned that he said, you know, one day all that's going to be gone and people are going to have to, and if they don't know about that, it's like, what do you do?
By then I'll be long out of this shit.
And you know, a lot of us are appointment only nowadays.
Yeah.
But you still take walk-ins.
Still do.
You still do. And that's just part of like what built you.
I don't like to be greedy. So when somebody calls for a tattoo, I got a group text with the guys at the shop.
All right.
I let them have first dibs on the walk-in. If they don't want it, I'll take it. I'll say anybody want this or I'm going to take it. And Bobby or Billy, somebody will be like, oh yeah, I got time at this time.
Right.
And I'll try to pass it on to them. But if they don't, I'm fucking got it.
I was like, don't worry, I'll get it.
So like after this, I'm going to go over there and do a little tattoo, you know?
Yeah.
I always try to pass on money first, you know?
Right,
I try to fucking spread it, you know?
And that is different to the way it was too.
Well, back in the day, it was first person at shop, got the first walk in.
Yeah, man.
But it's not like that no more because everybody's coming
like doggy dog.
Everybody's coming and going now, bro. Nobody sits at the shop no more.
Right.
Me, Bobby, and Billy are pretty much the only ones there all day, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other guys, they come and go, you know?
Right.
And then, but I try to pass on the money. And then,
when I first opened the shop here, they haven't had a shop since '96, so they put me on the front of the Herald of like the Sanger page thing.
There was a tattoo shop here
in '96. Yeah, right across the street.
What was it called?
It was like Dungeon Tattoo or Dragon Tattoo or something like that. Yeah, it was like again though, it wasn't even advertised. You had to have known. And then the bike place down here, there a motorcycle like 559 Cycles or something like that was right here.
Yeah.
And they were just doing tattoos out of a back room. That was my first. That was my second tattoo I got there, and like my first bit of tattoos after I was getting it off, and they had a bunch of new artists coming in because they're all fresh out.
People now bash on that. I love that kind of shit.
That's dope, dude. That's like that to us is like tradition.
Yeah,
that's all it was, dude.
I
like
love
you know,
it, man. Like fist tattoo wherever you got a fucking spot to tattoo. You know,
nah, this guy was in the back office.
I could squeeze into a fucking closet and tattoo.
So over here, it was next to the barbershop. So I remember being a kid and I'd peek over and there would just be, it looked like your standard tattoo shop with the flash everywhere.
Black and white checkered floors probably. Huh?
Yeah, black and white checkered floors, the first like split wall, and then it just like beyond that you couldn't really see.
Smelled
but
like green soap.
Yeah, it is like that original smell. And then so they closed down that same year and they haven't had anything. And I came out here and the idea sparked mostly because of like my roots. Yeah. So, and I was like, I didn't know how hard it was going to be and stuff. And I knew all these outskirts towns, they were kind of a little harder.
You're close enough to everything. Too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not too bad. And like, you know, it's pretty dope to see a lot of people come from out of town more so.
Yeah.
So like a lot of my
You're
clients.
good at tattooing, people come to you.
Yeah, that's where you become really like grateful for all
there's fucking 300 tattoo shops in Fresno.
There's a ton,
my clientele
bro.
are from Fresno.
Yeah.
45 minutes away.
So at some point you have to get out of that mindset where it's like, you know, just stick in your own, like you said earlier, bro.
Just do what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
That's how I am, bro.
Back then, we would just wait for that door to open and just be like, "There's our traffic." Yeah. That's what you know.
The door for every other walk-in's yours. You know, I always had somebody tattoo, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like from the day I started tattooing, I've been busy.
That's cool, man.
Like back then, I was busy because there was nobody else.
Right,
you know
right.
Like,
You're a commodity.
There was 2 old school cats.
Yeah.
You know, Lou and Dan Bumpus. They own shops across the street from it. They were brothers.
Oh, okay.
And then me. And then I was like, they were like the old school traditional sailor type guys.
Right.
And then I was that like youngster,
oddball,
wild dude that tattoos whatever and cool, you know, and like have a good time and shit. So like I attracted that crowd, you know?
Yeah.
And then like, then I opened up a shop with that same kind of vibe, you know? And then like, then when I got put on with Solon and those guys, then they started bringing a lot of attention to any tattoo artists associated with them.
Right.
It was just everything in my whole tattoo career has been like a constant, like now it's this reason I'm busy. Now it's this reason I'm busy because I've constantly kept going,
tier.
You know? Like, I never got stagnant, you know, like there's always
comfortable.
Like there was always a new thing that, put me in front of attention.
Yeah.
You know, and I just kept it going, you know? And now I'm trying to do the complete fucking opposite.
now you're like shifting down gear.
I just want to fucking stay at everybody's attention.
Right.
I don't even want to post tattoo photos no more. I just want to post memes on Instagram all the opposite. Now I'm trying to sink into the background a little bit. And I don't want no attention no more. I don't want to argue with nobody. I don't want to offend nobody. I just don't want to do anything.
Right. Do this more too. Like be able to like chill and like.
Yeah. I've lost that motivation to do that.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's cool to have you come in too and like just see the spot because I couldn't remember if you came for the opening or not. Because Lurk was here, and then for you to come by and check out the space. Like I told Bobby, I was like, it's a small operation, but it's just because that's all you need, dude. You know what I mean? That goes back to the setup wherever.
You can make $1 million out of half this.
Make it happen. And
the first 92 proof was this big.
Yeah.
It was about this size, but like in a square.
Right.
Yeah.
A squared out layout. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, I take that back. Sick Boy Tattoo was.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The one on Palm and Olive.
Right.
And then then I moved Sick Boy to Blackstone in Princeton.
Right. That's where I remember
it was like, I'm just going to throw a random number out there, like 2,000 square feet. But we only used the front half of it. You know, the back half was like fucking partying.
Recreational area.
Yeah. Anything to be over there till fucking 5 a.m. partying. Yeah. And then, but then 92 proof when I moved it to Lemoore was like this size, but like in a square. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need, man. You don't need a whole lot.
Right.
The only reason I got a bigger shop now is because I got more guys.
Right.
You know, we outgrew it.
Yeah.
So
you got a solid crew there too.
Yeah.
Everyone's like
they're cool.
Putting out good, you know what I mean? Solid work.
Yeah, we got our piercer's actually learning how to tattoo right now, Mandy.
Oh, right.
So she's there too.
We kind of touched up on it a little bit, but I was just kind of curious. Somebody comes up to you and asks for the advice and on anything in life and like through everything you've been through, this wild rodeos, like what would you kind of recommend to that person?
we make our money on hours. Put in that's it. I can't think of nothing else.
Put in the hours.
That's how we make our money.
Right.
You know? If you're put in the most hours, you'll make the most money.
Right.
That's how we do it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't really have. I don't know.
It's kind of hard because it's like people.
It's hard to give advice.
It's hard to give advice.
I just did it. I never really thought a whole lot about it. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's solid what you said. Also, the consistency and the hours, the hard work.
About hours, man. Whoever puts in the most hours makes the most money. That's just how it is. And I don't care how much people want to pretend they're getting into it for the art and
sure.
And all these little quotes about like being like vibing and all that shit.
Yeah,
like at the end of the day, it's for the money because nobody's gonna fucking do it. You know,
Right.
if you're not doing it for the money, you're gonna be just sitting at your house in the evening after work.
It's all about the outcome.
Yeah,
Why are you even doing it?
You're in it for the fucking money, so you might as well try to make a lot of it. You know,
Right. It's like,
and then do the cool shit, do the art shows and all that shit. But you know, art shows aren't free either. You gotta pay for them, so you gotta make money. You know,
I feel like you're throughout your whole career too. You've had a good balance of that.
Yeah.
You were still like seen one way or another. You made a presence, and then you're also, everybody knew like, all right, he's obviously like one of the artists, and then but you're just still about.
I just always tried to be the first one to be doing shit. You know, like back like when Tattoo in the Valley first came out, nobody was like outspoken tattoo artists, like partying and I was like bringing huge people to guest spot at my shop, and like I was doing huge conventions and like, you know, shit like that. And I don't remember anybody else doing that, you know, but there also wasn't any way for me to know unless I knew him personally, because there was MySpace at that time.
Right.
But, so like, as far as I feel like I was the first one doing a lot of shit, and that's what kept me
on that.
Yeah. People are like, oh,
spotlight,
that guy, you know, and then I found like ways to like humor people. And like people that didn't give a fuck about art, they laughed at something I said or posted. And then now they're a client because they thought I was funny. You know? I just always tried to kind of keep shit going, you know, hours on hours, dude, to where we are now, to see how far we could ride this train.
It's
all about putting in hours. That's fucking it, man.
Yeah, man. I'm glad
you gotta be good at it. You got to be good at it too. That also comes with a lot of hours. You know? Like you're gonna get anything you do enough of, you're gonna get good at. You know?
Yeah, man. It's just cool to see where, from hearing from everybody else, it seemed like, well, David's changed, the positives and the negatives, and you're just kind of like, whoever knows you knows you.
Yeah,
but they have to know you.
But most people who know me, like pretty much anybody who knew me back in those days, likes me better now, because they like that I'm not fucking in and out of jail. They like that I'm not fighting and fucking breaking people's fucking windows.
He's a wild boy.
It's just how it is, man. You see somebody talk shit about you on Facebook, you go fucking over there and make them say it, you know. And that's just how it is. And I don't deal with any of that no more. You know, like I don't. I mean, fucking read comments anymore. You know?
You don't pay attention to all that. Don't pay attention to comments. In and out.
But most of the people who knew me back then are glad that I calmed down. You know, like fuck it, you know.
It's about time.
It was a wild fucking 20 years or something. I don't know how long it was.
That's crazy, man. Years. It's on fumes.
Yeah, I started partying at 14 and been sober 2 years. So
the wheels have fallen off.
I don't know how the fuck I've like kept businesses running and shit like that. But it's just all about like, I just put everything on auto pay and let bills, as long as the bills are getting paid, the business stays open.
Right. You know? You're getting that taken care of on its own.
Yeah, everything's still that way now. Like everything's just on auto pay. Lights are coming on no matter what. You know?
Yeah. Everything's still filled.
Pays the bills.
There's still water in the well.
Yeah. Now I'm just bored out of my.
Now I'm just bored. I say I gotta find another.
Calling my friends, talking about the.
Have
old
you thought of that? Of like what else to do, or are you still kind of on like?
I actually was just telling my baby mama, I'm like, I need some fucking hobbies or something, because I sit at home every night. You know, like my kids mostly at her house, so like in the evenings, I'm like staring at the TV and like I'm running out of shit to watch, you know, watching all these series, and then
we're watching stuff in here. You're like,
and I'm watching shit TV at work. We watch a lot of movies. And
this is where I see a lot of my stuff when I'm here.
And then when I get home now, I do, and I'm like, fuck, I need some hobbies. All my cars are running right now. Usually,
everything's good. Everything's fixed.
I fixed all my cars. Like all
everything's been remodeled.
And I'm like, and now I don't have a house that needs remodeled. You know, I bought this fucking beautiful house, so now I'm like, God damn, I need some hobbies. You know, like I just don't know what to do. You know? And Joey Mullen, who I told you about, that fucking guy, man, he makes me feel lazy. He does laser engraving and fucking, he does that shit like with the guns, you know, target practice, like the precision, the little dinging thing in his ear and shit. And like, he's just
tactical
classic cars.
Stuff,
and he's tattooing fucking 100 hours of it a week, you know? So
get into archery.
I did archery for a long time.
Archery's dope.
Yeah.
You know, I go out here to a few ranges out here, and I've gone to like Santa Cruz has a cool outdoor range, 3D targets everywhere. And it's like you're just out hunting.
When I was a kid, I shot bows a little bit.
It's fun. I got my kids into it. We go and do that.
I went bow hunting one time. It was the fucking most boring shit I've ever done.
I don't know about
I hated it. Went for 3 days. For 3 days, only shot at one thing and missed.
Oh man, that's like your one shot opportunity, and you missed. Yeah.
But I don't know. I need some hobbies, man. I got to figure something out.
Right. Where can people find you? Where's the location of your shop? And then like your own handle, your
Hanford,
humorous handle.
Hanford, California. My page is dtower_92. And then I started a tattoo art, just tattooing.
Yeah.
Fuck David Towers,
Yeah.
but with a V, FVCK.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
92 proof.
That's right.
So that's Lamar.
Shout out to
Lamar
92
Hanford.
Proof. Appreciate you coming out, man. This is it though. I just wanted to talk, like just have a convo to really know the upbringing, like where you led to this, and then
rotary tattoo machine in prison, and now rotary tattoo machine at a shop.
Right. When it's like a free rotary to like a $800 rotary, you know, it's like wild.
Yeah, just a little size 0.5 mechanical pencil.
Yeah, man.
So we use as a barrel.
You mentioned the comparison to the Flux or the Magi.
No, the Magi is as close to a prison style homemade tattoo machine as it gets.
Yeah. When you said that earlier, I was like, damn, I didn't even think about that.
A homie of mine that tattoos in Lemoore, his name's Cameron. I gave him that Magi. So he's got it now.
That's cool.
That's where he started too. Now he's killing it.
Yeah, and then right now you're just on Bishops, right? And
Bishops and Cheyenne. So I got all the Bishops, and I try to stay on good cartridges. You know, I love Cheyenne cartridges.
Right, the cartridges. I remember they were like really nice, smooth.
Fuck yeah, they are.
They're clean,
them,
man.
Yeah,
that's dope, dude.
That's all it is.
But yeah, this is dope. Just to like really listen to all like the roots.
Yeah,
you know, I never genuinely didn't even know. I was just kind of like, it's cool to just.
I don't talk to a lot of people.
Again, it's like we're just working and we just dip.
Bobby knows a lot about me because I'm always fucking telling him.
Just with them, yeah.
You won't believe what happened this morning. My kid clowns me a lot. I took her with me to a laser appointment, and it's right by my shop. And she goes, "Oh, it's right by your shop." I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Is that so after they get a tattoo from you, they could go remove it?" Like clowning, like it's bad, you know?
Yeah, that's fine.
Flip her off on her back. She gets me.
Get you on that.
I always tell Bobby when she rolls me.
Little girl, that's your oldest or
youngest?
Yeah,
she's 9.
They know how to get you those little low blows, dude.
She's funny. I let her dry my blazer, and and I'm making a video, and she's like, "What if the police see this?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And she goes, "Will they take you to jail again?"
Dirty.
Yeah, because I don't keep no secrets from her.
You gotta be transparent.
She don't know why I went to jail or any of that, like the details, but she knows jail. I don't keep no secrets from her.
Yeah, just be raw with it, man.
Yeah,
one way or another.
Straight up,
better to hear from you too.
I talk to her like a friend, you know.
Right. That's the best relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird because our community is a small, like we know a lot of the same people. It's a small community, but it's very spread out. And
it's like 20 years from now, it's not gonna be like that no more, bro.
Yeah.
Like where there's like groups of like OGs and cool, you know, like that whole group we just talked about right now. Right. 20 years from now, there's not going to be that group, bro. There's going to be like this new style guys, you know, they're all fucking doing tattoo seminars and shit. Yeah. Like it's that last tail end of what we caught is done. Those groups of just fucking wild ass friends that tattooed together and then
have the memories, the history.
All that shit's done for, bro. It's just not going to be that way no more. Like I can't think of any current tattoo artists that like young tattoo artists that have that same like characteristics about them. You know what I mean? Like I just don't, you know, they're the new style tattoo artists, they're showing up at fucking 9 a.m., leaving by 3.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just, it's different, bro. So there's not those like old gangsters no more, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a real different crowd.
I'm so fucking glad I got it, you know?
Yeah. Cause I didn't even know you were out there in that area, dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure, bro.
That's what's crazy.
Mikey brought me down there. And like,
I didn't know
that was a whole culture. That was a culture shock for me because that's East LA, like you know, the gangs that he was from. Right. You know, it was and like the biker shit. You know, it was just like a private studio for that. You know, it was a whole culture shock, bro. But it was like a fucking huge pivotal point in my career.
Yeah,
yeah. It turned me in a different direction.
It really. That's when you started.
He brought me there as the color artist because he didn't have anybody to do color there. And like that area was just all portraits, all black and gray. Yeah. You know, Mikey was busting out fucking 10 portraits a day, you know, like just all fucking day. I'm doing like koi fish and fucking nautical stars and whatever I could do in color. And then it wasn't until my ex, Riley, she came in wanting her back done like angel demon type thing. And I was like, we should have Mikey do it. You know, Mike's like, nah, come on, dog, you're going to do it. And sat with me for 2 fucking days, 12 hours a day and did her whole back. And like that piece got me so much fucking black and gray business. I don't think I tattooed color again for fucking 5 years after that. All I did was black and gray. Yeah, I got on like the cover of all kinds of like tattoo magazines and shit.
That's tight, man.
And it was like the first black and gray piece I did in years. That was like another thing that put me up there.
Sure.
You know, like my whole career's just been a constant fucking, like something new happening for me. Because I made it happen.
The next tier. Yeah.
Something this. And then when things start getting a little stagnant, I'll do something else. And like, not no more. I'm fucking done with it.
Right.
I don't have the energy no more.
Yeah. You're like,
I just want to tattoo every day.
I'm running on straight water. And yeah. It's a different fuel.
It's been cool, man. I love it. I don't have any regrets at all. I've had a good fucking time.
It made you what you are, though, bro.
I made some cool friends.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Right.
Just to fucking enjoy it, the hell out of it, you know? Like I said, I still bring in any client that comes in.
Yeah.
I have a good group of clients
that
let me do whatever I want. Those are the days that are like the good days for me.
Those are the chill days. Such a, to allow you to just kind of free
I got
run
clients that won't even look at it.
Wow.
Like when I'm putting the stencil on.
They just show up. Yeah.
And I fucking love it, bro.
Those are the best.
I love that bio-organic, detailed shit.
Yeah.
I did a whole, yesterday, I just finished this whole Aztec back piece, you know, and I love that kind of shit, you know, all the textures in it.
Right.
So, I used to freehand the color stuff. I could draw all that shit, coefficient, all that shit. But like when it comes to like portraits and stuff, I just
for sure,
I'll freehand like the backgrounds and the ways I tie them together and shit like that. Like I'll draw it on with the marker.
Right.
But most of the time I'm using a stencil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy on the iPad, just fucking print it.
Right, dude. Those times you have to like resize it and you're like, all right, come back in 45. Or,
literally you took you that long. The stencil, and then those thermofexes came around.
Yeah.
I've never really used the thermofex. Even the whole time the shop had a thermofex, most of the time.
So you hand stenciled to this day still, or?
No, no.
No, what do you do right now?
I hand stenciled all the way till I started using iPad.
Oh, got you. Okay. Practical, dude.
Yeah.
Practicality.
I never used the thermofex that much.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, but I hand stenciled all the way till I got that Epson printer.
Gotcha. It changed the game.
It did.
Time is money, boy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Anybody with money knows that.
Right.
That's all about who can get.
That's when you're kind of like, all right, if I can save myself X amount of time,
whatever is the easiest, man. They'll come out with something else by the time I'm done tattooing.
Right.
I think I got about 10 more years left in me.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
That's realistic, huh?
Yeah, I've been investing for a long time, so it's about 10 years. I should go right
Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Go set up shop.
I bought property there.
Yeah.
And then sold it. Somebody offered me more than I paid for it, so I took it, but I'm going to buy something else down there.
Thanks again to David D. Tower for coming through. Represent 92 Proof. It's been dope to just kind of go down that memory lane, bro.
Yeah.
Just kind of like let it.
I haven't sat down and told anybody anything.
I was going to say, I'm curious how many people actually know. You get to hear it firsthand, you know?
Yeah. Go laugh at some of my memes and
there you go.
Where's your business?
Get some entertainment. Yeah. He's here to entertain too, huh?
I like memes, bro. I'm fucking on memes all day long, bro.
Yeah,
People send them to me all day because they know I like them.
Right. Well, with that said, man, this has been Tattooing Out Loud. I appreciate y'all sticking out to the end, listening, tuning in. With that said, see you on the next one later on, y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks.